too. Like I would feel different if it was Ward and I like knew I was gonna have to bow out, and like I've been playing it for 2 years and and I go, oh, I guess this is just my last. You know, that would suck. Just because, you know, there's a lot of you want some resolution after that period of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, I mean, you can as archers, you can always hold it over everybody else that you were the first one to get bardic inspiration from Red.
That's right. That's right.
You had to wring it out of her, but you did get it.
Yeah. I had to just keep killing skellies right next to her, pushing them off. For sure. Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, I only listed, I think, like 3 events, but I was so amped to be able to do that. The last few months I've been wanting to, and every time I got close to like, you know what, I'm going to list a couple of events, like literally I was like, I don't know, I don't feel good about it. And the next day something would happen where I would have to be available for that time period. Like every time that it happened like 3 or 4 different times where a Saturday got demolished by like, well, we have to go do this thing. And then, you know, like, or like I have to work on the house to get it ready to set. It's just like it was a nightmare. So
life stuff.
Yeah.
But I was saying when I was in Maine the last time for Virgil, and plus like we were, you know, talking about telling our family we're having a baby and all that stuff, and I was talking to my boss about how I was like, it's nuts. Like Box was in the middle of going public, so as a copywriter it's like a huge thing because there's so much communications around that and whatever. And I was like, God, it's like my focus wasn't there really, truthfully. And you know, everything was transparent, but she's just like, you know, sometimes when it comes to like work life, you know, sometimes life is just sometimes life is the more part, and you just have to do that.
Yeah.
And she was saying it like, she was like saying it's all good. So this is what happened with you. It's like, sometimes life is just big and you just got to get through those periods. And then like, and sometimes it's great. In this case, at least for you, it's like getting a house and like, you know, it's like stressful and, you know, all that stuff, but fantastic that you're in this new spot. You got 30 something acres, right? 37 acres.
34 acres. Yep.
30 plus acres. Mm-hmm. I got like 400 square feet. So that's great.
Well, but judging by the last time I was in Maine, all the marijuana stores, you just must be 34 acres of just pot plants, I'm assuming.
Yes. It will be in a few years. No.
Yeah, just straight.
I've heard, you know, I've heard that some people have had a hard time with the grow operations, that the like people living near them, just because of the smell. Mm-hmm. It's like really strong. And so like that was, I never thought about that. Because, you know, in Maine, you know, everybody was growing weed on some level, but these big operations there, you know, it's a new day. It's a new day.
Speaking of the smell, I've got this great book I'm going to recommend for the Mainers in here. Shredding Paper. It's about the history of the paper industry in Maine. Really interesting.
You said it wrong, though. I don't understand.
Yeah, paper shredding
paper.
Shredding paper. And it's about, it takes like the labor perspective of it.
Interesting.
It's really interesting. Like how they didn't have unions for years. Really cool. Thought you guys would definitely like that.
I appreciate that, and I do like that. Now I want to read it. And I'm saying it flippantly, but it does sound interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, Christmas and New Year's and everything. We did have a little bit of a session right after Christmas, right before Christmas?
It was the 21st? 28th.
28th. Right, yeah. Shit, I didn't take notes.
Yeah.
I didn't either. Mine was, these were my notes. Backstory time.
Yeah.
And
yep. So we went into a little bit of backstory with,
which was fun.
I think it was
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was, we focused on Nova and Delyaries, I think, primarily.
You guys got some cool ass backstories now.
I went into a little bit more backstory with them, developed
now I have to remember what we wrote.
Some places. Developed some new places, as well as a few NPCs. I think the one of note was Wobius.
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 Yes.
Mm-hmm. If I I think I took notes on that name somewhere. Yeah. So Wobius, we went into Point Grey, which is a location that you haven't gone yet, but we found out that that is where Delyaries kind of made her start as a rogue, and then eventually as the swashbuckling pirate that you all now know. And we went into a little bit of the City of Brothers, where Nova
Forge
attended school at the Forge, and the kind of developed a little bit of the culture there. Bit of a cutthroat, politically vicious culture of that school, and how it cultivates social talent and manipulative talent as well. So that was kind of what we did in that interim session.
That was so fun, actually.
Yeah, it worked out pretty cool. So that was, some of that might come up, some of it might not, but and I don't think I recorded it. So, oh, sorry.
I remember memory for
Classic.
Yeah.
for the details.
So I took some notes here and there.
This is the first rule of filming, and any kind of filming. It is always keep it running.
Yeah.
Because
So
it's always that last take.
I definitely messed that up, but that's okay. That's all right. We have some notes, and we can definitely revisit it at some point. So, so that was kind of a little bit of what we did during the holidays, and now let's go back to the peaks of the mountains, the snow-covered mountains, where we left off the following morning after your little bit of an exploration of an ice crystal cave, discovering that within its walls was a frozen dragon, frozen into a very thick floor was untold treasures, which Flux had made made some attempt at melting with his magic and natural heat as a fire genasi. And you had slept through the night. You'd seen a few things, tested your surroundings a bit. The following morning, Chiron and Flux had ventured out to the forge, the pillar that stands anchored off of this cliff edge, where you found shelter. And so this is what I have here. Flux is within the forge. He actually climbed down into it to meet with Scald, the fire elemental responsible for maintaining it. He found that Scald is actually chained to the forge. So this is definitely not a mutual agreement like Severson had with the dwarves of Kholdim. He is a prisoner. Chiron is also on the pillar, and both of them currently have Spider Climb active, allowing them to traverse the very slippery chains that kind of hold that pillar in place. And the rest of you are standing on that edge of the cliff, kind of watching them. And through the air, you hear the ominous sound of those war horns, again, kind of echoing throughout the peaks. You have been found. You have been discovered by those that pursue you, which at this point you are pretty certain are not orcs, which has been the case up until now, but soldiers of the Brotherhood of Nard, whom Chiron was a member of. And that is the wrap. That's the recap for you. So with that, there's a lot going on. There is still a bit of a storm going on, but it is not as bad as it was the previous night. The other thing that is in play is that Dumple, one of their soldiers, an assassin, was captured, was unconscious, and has been disarmed. And he is tied up with spider silk line that Delyaries had. He is tied up and still within the cave. So that is, does anybody have anything else to add to that?
I wrote down white dragon sleeping. I don't have anything else. I shot that mechanical bird. That was it. But that's not really that big of a deal.
Oh, that's right. You did. Yep.
It might be a big deal.
Might be more of a big deal than you think it is.
Well, Ward doesn't think it's a big deal. He just shot a thing. Yeah, and Flux, you were talking to Scald, right? You like had a conversation a little bit, right? You just popped
a little
in.
bit. Just enough to know that he works for Frost Hall.
Yeah.
Did we establish if Frost Hall is the dragon or not? I don't think we got that far, but
no.
Okay.
No, you pulled a Flux. You just said, "Fuck it, I'm going in." Dog.
You just started climbing down. Yeah. Yeah.
And I believe we had kind of figured that Scald was not on the same level power wise as Severson.
Yeah,
that was like that's what Flux feels.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely not. Not
Severson's
nearly
kind of badass.
as powerful as Severson. Yeah, Severson is
like a dude.
Well, at this point, you've encountered a few fire elementals of various size and shapes.
True.
Severson has been probably the second largest elemental that you've dealt with. The largest one was the one that kind of pursued you south to the desert.
Yeah.
That was the largest, and that one was enormous.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember Chiron had to do the whole. You like called down some rain or some shit. There was like a bunch of wild stuff going on.
Lightning. That's what gave me my sorcery powers, I think.
Right.
Oh, yeah. He knocked the sorcerer into you.
Yeah. Yeah. Severson is probably the second largest that you've seen. Scald appears to is definitely smaller than Severson. Might be more on a scale of the cinder tails that you've encountered before. So not tiny. But definitely not as large or as powerful as Severson. So that's pretty obvious to you, both in like the physical size of Skull, but also the intensity of the heat coming off of its body, right? Like you've kind of like gotten used to like Severson's power and how he actually, when you approach, he dampens it. And you can tell that Scald is pretty upset, is not damping it, but it's not really affecting you that much. So, all right. And with that, update these. All right. And I have a map here, which gives you a little bit of a larger view of what's going on. There you go.
Ooh.
So mountain peaks are numbered. Flatter portions of this little valley are letters, and then of course you have the bottom of the valley, the cave, which is in that top right-hand corner, and then of course the forge. Everything out here, assume it's open air that just drops out. This is kind of cliffside here. There's a few levels of cliffs below the forge, but after that, it does just drop away hundreds and hundreds of feet from that point. So your pursuers are currently at peak 1, heading down towards B, kind of that western, northwestern location. They definitely see you, and there's another group that you can kind of see, but they're still a ways out, coming from peak 2.
Did I hear the horns down in the forge there? Assume probably not, huh?
Roll perception.
Yeah, baby. 22.
Okay. Yeah. you would hear
Yeah,
them. It would
I heard 'em.
be muffled.
Yeah.
But even
I've heard them
above
before.
you've heard them before, and they would echo, right? Like
Mhm.
echo off of these peaks, and then you can hear them. They're just kind of muffled and dulled from the crackling and roaring sounds that Scald is putting out. But you do hear the war horns and recognize them as what they are.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I would probably ask Scald if there's a way into the city from here. Frost Hall is the name of the city, Scald, I assume. Is there a way into the city? Can we get in? What is Frost Hall like? Is it inhabited? Is this too many questions?
And you're just bombarding him, and you can see Scald kind of expand a little bit in frustration and anger, and kind of leaps or pulls towards you, and you can hear the snap, like the metallic snap of that chain being pulled tight, and then he's kind of pulled back to the bottom, and I imagine that he is angry. You're asking these questions of him, and he will simply kind of snarl, and fire will just kind of like wrap around him and burst upwards a little bit. He does not seem like he is interested in having a discussion with you in this moment.
All right, Scald. And I gently raise the level of my flame, but not in an aggressive way, just to kind of match his color palette, I guess. And just to get us like on an even plane, like, Scald, listen, my friends and I, we're in trouble, but I think I can help you. Can you help us? I'd like to get you out of these chains. I'd like to free you from this prison that you're in. Would you like that?
Then do it.
All right.
And there's another kind of like flare as he lets out that burst, and then he kind of sinks down into the corner, exposing more of these chains. Now you can see that the chains are not attached like typical manacles, right? Like he's a fire elemental. He's not tangible in the same ways as a person is. So there's definitely some magic involved with the binding. And you can see on these chains, you can see dwarven runes carved into it that is functioning as the binding. Like the chain itself is not doing the binding; it's the magic that is within the chain.
Cool. Yeah, I realized I said that. Don't know how to do it actually. Good. Flux. Despite the fact that's probably not a good idea, he's probably going to go ahead and try to do it anyway. What would I know about where the chains are attached, or what types of magic I might need? I might look into it a little bit on my own, obviously, first, because I'm down here by myself, but then I would call upon someone else that I might be able to help, but I don't know who that is. Really.
So the only one near you at this point is Chiron. So he's up at the top. Everyone else is on the other side of or on the cliff, essentially. So, but go ahead and make an Arcana check to see what you might be able to figure out.
27.
Nice. Okay, so you definitely recognize this as the work of dwarven artisans. You know that they generally are going to be artificers using wizardly magic that is passed down by generations through study and research. So something like this is going to be a technical matter to undo, not only because of the type of magic that they're using, but also the peoples that made it. You know that dwarves have, very like standardized systems for what they do, how they build, the types of materials that they use. Your time in Kholdim kind of reinforced your knowledge of that a bit, and you're seeing that reflected here as well. So you have an idea that a sufficiently like planned out approach, being able to use some magic to break it apart in pieces. Any sort of like counter spell with sufficient power would undo it immediately. Otherwise, it's going to be time and consistent use of some sort of magic to like break it down to the point where this elemental can break free. Now, you can also assume with that Arcana check that the elemental has been trying to do this for who knows how long. So fire most likely is going to have no effect on it whatsoever. So that's I think that's what you'd be able to tell from this Arcana check. It's going to take more than just a physical attack, and fire is going to be useless essentially. And it will take it's either like sufficiently powerful magic or time.
So I size up the chains, look at the dwarven runes. I assume, like, how is it shackled to him? Is it just kind of like melt into his swirling
picture kind of like the genie coming out of the lamp, right? Like it doesn't he doesn't have like a humanoid form per se, so it just kind of like goes through, and then these chains kind of act as a cuff around the base that just holds him in place.
Okay, all right, thanks. And I look at that, and I I know we don't have a whole lot of time, so I'll say to Scald, I'll be back. And I climb up.
Okay.
And I climb up. Spider climb.
He is going to attack you. For just being so useless, and he's definitely angry being trapped here. And he's going to miss both times with his firebolt. So as you're like clambering up, using your spider climb, he sends out like blasts of flame, but they actually pass right by you. Now, Chiron, because you're right there, you can feel the heat of those firebolts like leave the top of this forge, right? Like it just kind of exits this chimney and just kind of dissipates into the air high above you. You can probably assume that whatever Flux did down there did not go well.
Nice.
Oh, Flux.
Yeah. So as Flux, you kind of clamber up the inside of this forge, you climb out, you see Chiron, and now as you're climbing out, you can see kind of up to those peaks to the west. You can see small figures kind of making their way down and hiding, amongst the rocks and carefully kind of moving into position to try and corner you, essentially try and gain an advantage in this situation. So there is kind of a threat that is moving in. This is not an immediate threat. You're going to have a little bit of time because of the distance that they need to cover before they kind of reach all of you. So as Flux kind of climbs out, all of you see that. I want to go back over to the other four of you that are on this kind of cliffside. Cliff edge, rather. So Nova, Koli, Ward, and Delyaries. Delyaries, let's go to you first. So what do? You hear these war horns. You look over to this forge. Chiron is standing there, kind of overlooking this forge. You see a couple blasts of fire erupt from it, and then Flux kind of like climbs out. What do you do?
I think like we'd probably want to try to help them get back if they're wanting to come back to the rock ledge away from the forge. Is he out yet, or is he still kind of just climbing?
Yeah, he's out.
Okay.
And you know that both he and Chiron cast spells on themselves to be able to climb across that fairly easily.
Okay,
so they do both have spider climb for like the next hour. So they probably won't need assistance
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we see also where that bird, the mechanical bird broke apart? Is it close to where we were at?
Yes. Yes, it is. You can definitely look for it in the snow. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think like as this all commotion's going on, Delyaries is going to probably say we need to get out of here. Like they're basically coming and they know exactly where we're at, right? So we need to find a hiding place or retreat somewhere. But she's also wants to go see this bird, the bird that got shot down, and see if she can inspect it maybe and see if there's anything she can make from it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll investigation to try and find it.
Okay.
In the snow, basically where it had like fallen and disappeared from sight. So you have a rough idea of where it is, but it isn't readily apparent, the location.
She rolls 16.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough. So you're able to kind of look in the general area of where you saw it fall, and you very quickly find a kind of like the shaft of an arrow and the feathers kind of standing out against the snow. You approach and you find this mechanical bird with an arrow basically straight through it. You can see that some of the mechanics of it are still like clicking, as if like it doesn't know that it's like dead. It's still making some sounds, and parts of it are still kind of like twitching and moving, fighting to try and function as normal, but it is unable to.
Okay. Maybe she's gonna pick it up, and then she's gonna I guess two things, like can she look at it, and then maybe could she tell anything from it? Like if she picks it up and looks at it, kind of rotates it around, is there anything that she can maybe, like, I guess perception wise, try to find out any kind of history on it or anything like that?
Sure. I think that you would, and we'll just like use that same investigation check.
Okay.
I think what you would see is that it's made of metal. It is very realistic. Like the feathers on this thing look like feathers. It's not just like smooth blades. They seem to have like the same sort of texture and everything. So this is something with a high level of craftsmanship, as well as most likely designed to be difficult. The arrow looks good. Most likely it will be able to be recovered without any without any damage, but also enough to fool most people into thinking that it is a real bird. Yeah, so like that's kind of what. So somebody has spent a significant amount of time, effort, and perhaps money to build this thing. In order to, you're not entirely sure, but it was certainly scoping out the area. So this could be some sort of scout, reconnaissance. It could be a spy. It could be a messenger. You're not entirely sure what the function of this machine was or is, but that's I think that's about what you're able to get.
I'm going to be able to get. Okay. Yeah. She'll just grab it and still like kind of tuck it into her side and carry it like football. She's going to bring it back to the group.
Okay.
And then just say, but still the imminent danger is that the arrows flew from the top, right? There's like a first string of arrows. And we got to get the heck out of here. So that to the rest of the group.
You see my arrow over there?
Yeah.
So the arrow's still in it. So you can
it's still in it.
Yeah,
I have it.
Yeah.
We can try to pull it out.
I'll take the bird and go, very interesting, as I'm clearly just talking about my arrow shot, and I send it back. And I take the arrow and put it back. So you told us about the bird, which we had inklings that it was with them anyway, but this is interesting to see it up close for sure. Do we have a sense of how long it'll take those guys to get so they're an immediate problem for us?
Go ahead and roll survival.
Which D20? Let's see. A natural 1, so an 11.
Okay. You would, judging by their pace down these slopes, they will be within longbow range in just a few minutes.
Oh.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we need to get out of here quick.
Yeah, like, and this is going to be like maximum longbow range, like the 600 feet, right?
Okay.
It's going to take them a little bit more time to get within effective range, but they are, I mean, they're definitely making their way towards you. The other thing is they do have a little bit of, they have the high ground. They have a little bit of a height advantage to be able to get a little bit more range, and certainly a better vantage point to see what all of you are doing. Like, they can see this entire valley basically from where they're at.
Oh man.
I think we should hide in the cave and use the tunnel as a choke point.
Yeah. The part of the cave where the dragon was.
Let's use the dragon.
I was gonna say we have 2 enemies potentially.
So we wake it up.
It's still frozen though, technically. That dragon is still kind of frozen in that rock wall, I guess, right?
It's ice. Within the ice of this kind of like, I guess it's like glacier would be an accurate description of it.
You know what could free it? Maybe.
What?
A really hot elemental. I'm just saying, let's let everybody loose.
Yeah.
I'm only half joking. Like,
I like it.
I don't know how we can get out of here. Like, I don't know what, unless we just try to like see if we can. They have the high ground though, so we're kind of like in the spot. We're kind of in a difficult spot.
So Chiron and I have spider climb, and I could cast it on 2 other people if we wanted to climb down, but that seems submissive.
I mean, I have dispel magic.
Where do you want to climb down to?
Oh, to free. Are you talking about climb down to free, or just climb down the mountain?
What's the space?
I think you meant to cancel out spider
the
climb.
gold.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant too. I thought you meant you're going to cancel the spider climb.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
She's like, nobody's going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'd say we wake up the dragon. I don't think we're gonna get the elemental.
Why don't we at least first try to get towards that cave? Because it was a pretty small little section, right? And it's around a bend. We never really searched that back wall, I think, like to see if it extended. And I don't think we know it from this map. We actually only metagame know something here, but we don't know that from in real life. We just, I mean, in this world, like, yeah, we basically.
I thought we did. I thought we.
So
looked around there quite a bit.
You made it through this entire cavern here, the larger one. You did see that there was even more treasure and gold frozen into the floor, but it wasn't until Chiron had, I believe he flew. Did he have spider climb, or maybe he flew up to the top of the
he went up
cavern?
the top.
I think I had spider climb to climb up.
Okay.
I think that's what it was.
Okay, so he climbed up the kind of the ice walls of this cavern, and it wasn't until he got up quite near the top that he saw the head of this dragon, kind of like the eye like frozen, and which scared him. He kind of like backed away.
He was a bird. He did fly because he was a bird, and he couldn't transform back in time, right? And he splat.
Is that what that happened? Was this time?
Yes,
Oh.
there we go. Yeah.
And I yelled dragon.
So that's basically what you do, but you didn't see really anything else. You all left pretty quickly after that discovery. So
cool.
But you
Plus,
definitely
very
have
much wants to go back to the gold.
You definitely have 2 choke points. The entrance would function as a pretty good choke point, and then the small path between the 2 chambers, that is definitely a good choke point as well. Not only is it small, but it gives you some space to maneuver on the opposite side of it. So
I think we should.
You could
I think
use
we should
either
do
one
that.
of those.
I think we should use that choke point
Yeah.
Yeah.
and set the dragon free.
And catch some gold.
That's like okay. So let me
Make
say,
sure we're on the right side of it.
just like metagame wise, I don't know if Ward knows this, right? But I know that like dragons are sentient. Obviously, Ward would know that at least. So
Most are, yes.
yeah, most are. So I would assume I would look at Nova, actually.
She
It's a-
can't
so-
hear us right now, but
What's that?
she can't hear us right now.
Oh, okay.
But
In game or out of game? Sorry.
I think she's on the phone. But so you were saying like, what would you have Nova do like to try to?
Well, Nova has the best chance at convincing a dragon or anything
That's what I was thinking.
to
Yeah.
at least look at the greater
we
insult to its place or whatever.
Yeah.
But also Nova said dispel magic. I believe she was talking about the arcane nature of Scald's bindings, which is what she can help with dispel magic.
Right.
So that's the
Cool.
metagame piece of that. So I think that's what she was saying.
Gotcha.
So whatever we choose, I think she's going to be a very integral piece. So I hope she eventually can.
Move
How
on.
about-
Ward, however, will just be like, okay, I'll shoot an arrow.
how about Koli? What are you thinking and or doing at this point, kind of with everything going on around you?
I think at this point I'm just gonna start heading back to the cave, and maybe pulling Dumple a little bit further in.
Okay.
Behind the second choke point.
Okay, so you make your way into the cave entrance, and you can now see that Dumple is awake. He was knocked out for almost 24 hours, but he is awake. He definitely just woke up. It's not that he was, like faking being asleep or anything like that. Like as you grab him, he kind of comes to, and you feel him kind of like twitch and try and break free of his bonds as you drag him deeper into the cave. I forget, did you gag him as well? If not, he's
I think
definitely
it's just-
yelling
I think
at
it was
you.
just arms and like,
Yeah. Just his arms and feet.
Okay, yeah. So he's definitely going to be yelling at you, and he's probably also going to be laughing because he is going to hear these war horns echoing knowing that the Brotherhood is near. So he is definitely laughing at your situation because he knows it's a bad one.
I'll just keep dragging him, just ignoring. Like,
Okay.
don't worry, Dumple. You'll be okay. We won't hurt you.
to call him Dimple so that he can say his line again. Oh.
It's Dumple.
Yeah.
Dumple. Okay, so Koli's going to be in the cave. Okay. How about Ward? Delyaries has grabbed the bird that you killed. Now you're realizing you kind of destroyed it because it wasn't alive. It was a machine. She is definitely strongly suggesting that you start running somewhere. The cave most likely is a good location. What are you doing? And keep in mind that Flux and Chiron are still over on this pillar, the stone pillar out off this cliff edge.
Well, I see Koli run in. I assume he told us I'm going to go grab Dumple, whatever. So I guess I agree, but I'll look over at Chiron and Flux and just start like waving them this way to like come back because I don't want to. I mean, I know they know where we're at, but I'll just be. I guess they can see me too, but I'll just be like, come back, and then I'll be. So I guess because I'll be the first one that can have. I think I don't know if anybody else can get 600 feet, but I'll be theoretically the first person that can get that they'd be within range of my attack. So I would stand sort of guard until everybody's in the cave and we plan our next move ASAP. But that's probably what I do to like tell everybody to get in there. and then I stand there, and as soon as they're in there, if they go in the cave, then I'll follow them in. And then we can decide who's gonna be where, what we're gonna do. But that's what I'm doing at that moment, probably. And I think to that end, I would, yeah, I think that's probably what I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the dragon is in the top of the cave, or it's in the top of the cave, right?
Frozen up in there, top of the cave.
That's where you saw it.
Right. Okay. That's where I saw it.
Head of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see Ward gesturing, and I instantly start running towards him in the cave.
Okay. Yeah. And with spider climb, you were able to make it over those slippery chains, no problem. You make it back to the cliff edge, and then towards the cave. Flux, what do you do?
I do the same.
Okay.
We're leaving him down there.
Leave him down. It's not the right time, and there's gold over there.
It's not the right
And
time.
there's gold.
Also, so Nova, were you saying to dispel magic, just to be clear, because this is what I thought, were you saying dispel magic in terms of like the locks on Scald?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I imagine you would have told us that you could maybe well, we don't know what's going on down there, so never mind.
Yeah, we wouldn't know. So
Yeah,
until
so
they
never
get
mind.
back, it's nothing
I'm
we
all,
can take
I'm
care
all
of
kind
right
of
now.
metagame right now. I'm all kind of metagame on accident. All right. So as soon as you guys run in, I'll train. Just take one final look to see if I can tell, if I can tell how, if they've made any, if they're any closer, like where they're at. To kind of take one scan of the environment to see like numbers, distance, and all that. If I can do that again.
Okay. Yep. I want to get Nova. Are you running to the cave as well with everybody else? I assume that you are, but I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ward, as you make it to the mouth of this cave, you do a quick look back. Go ahead and let's see. I had you make a survival last time. Let's do a perception check, and then based on that, we'll see what you might have to do.
Okay. Perception is 18.
Okay. Wow. And disadvantage on that strike is certainly helping you out. You see that, let me pull this one up now. They have now gotten within range, and they are starting to fire as you duck into the cave. You will get hit by one of them.
Okay.
I will tell you, I just rolled 4 natural crits. They were all at disadvantage, so only one hit, but it wasn't a critical. So I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
So that will be 6 damage that you take from.
Do I get a sense of how many were out there in that looking?
So you know that Dumple's group has 4.
Okay.
And that the other group, we're just going to call them second group for right now, because you haven't met any of them, is also made up of 4. So there are Dumple, and then there are 8 enemies on their way towards you in 2 groups of 4.
Okay. So I'll run into the group, relay that. I'll say, I just got hit. Heal me. I'm so hurt. No, I'm just kidding. I'll relay that there's at least 8. I can't make out the second group, the numbers,
Right.
but I know that there's at least 8 coming, 2 groups of 4. They'll be here soon. They've already started to be able to reach me, and I show them the arrow that I show them the wound on my arm that they graze just to show. And I'll say, Chiron, Nova, Koli, can any of you lay anything down at the entrance of the cave?
Oh, you're done. I thought you were still going with that sentence.
I was like, can you lay down like a murder blanket that they have to run across? I don't know what that would be. But I'll say, I don't know if I have a sense of, so they'll be here and just, it won't take them long to get here. So
old friend,
definitely have something that can help us out.
You remember the eruption of the earth? I can.
Yes. And
I can't
also,
remember when I used that. I used it at one point, critical point.
and I have an idea, and lo and behold, it will make use of a rope trick. So I have an idea that who knows, but we can, if we free, this is just me trying to explain it outside of character because I don't know. This is what I think. If we free the dragon, if we try to free the dragon, if we're successful, we have to convince it real quick that we're not fucking food invaders, right? So that's Nova's job, right? That would be Nova's job. Clearly, right? I assume. I don't know who else has charisma. I know I don't. Although my persuasion is okay, but generally it's never good. But my thought is, so Ward told you guys if you have anything to lay down out front, lay everything down that they have to run across, hallucinatory terrain, anything dangerous, anything. But if we cast rope trick, here's a thought: if we cast rope trick in the front, if we free the dragon, we go hide in the rope trick. As those guys are running in, the only thing that anybody will see is each other. The dragon will see those things running in, and we have an hour in that trick. They can't get in. They can't see it. Even if the dragon knows it's there, it can't do anything for an hour. So we're hiding out in the cave.
You just get to watch.
Like
How do you
Frodo
plan on
Bilbo
freeing a
style.
dragon?
So
Well, this is the big thing. I don't know.
Chiron will say, it will stop and he'll say, so you're Ward, I assume you say this, you explain this to the group.
let's say Ward thinks like because we were talking about freeing the dragon, I'll say if we free the dragon, maybe that we can do it in timing and we can hide in the rope trick and they'll fight each other. Any other great ideas? I'm all for it. Otherwise we stand here and try to choke them out. Choke them out one at a time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Ward would say. So you know,
take Dumple with us. So he's still bound, right? He just he's just able to talk, so we can try to gag him with a belt or something like.
Isn't he outside down in the actual kiln?
Dumple?
Furnace? No, sorry. No, sorry. I thought you guys were talking about the fire guy, not Dumple.
No, we're talking Dumple.
Dumple's with us. Okay, cool. Chiron will say here that this is obviously an old dwarven city, and these are the Brotherhood of Nard. So there is a possibility that they know the dragon. If they were previously here.
If you say that, I'll look over at Dumple. Seems like he would know.
And Dumple does his best, though tied and restrained, to just like smirk and shrug. The smirk is more successful than the shrug.
Do we believe in torture?
I actually
Yes.
Last time I tried to waterboard, it did not work.
I mean, actually, Delyaries was thinking about just pulling a dagger and just kind of jabbing it into his neck, menacingly, to try to get him to cooperate with us.
Flux was thinking about doing the same, but just killing him.
I'm gonna push my hand. I put it right here. He just kind of
Just like pushes it a little bit more.
yeah. Thank you. I didn't want to do it myself.
So Chiron, you would know that the faithful of the Brotherhood are going to be very difficult to break. There's a level of loyalty that exists. There's also a level of fear that exists that keeps them compliant. So it would not be an easy thing to do to turn a member of the Brotherhood, unless A, they were already willing to do so, or B, you had like some very specific personal approach to it for that individual.
I think if we can beat these 8 guys, which I don't think will be too hard, then that'll be some good impetus to turn.
Those are some famous last words right there.
he just turned the dial up.
Our next Nard session.
I appreciate your confidence.
So
I would
I'm all for-
hesitate. I'm waking up this dragon though.
Well, actually, so when you say that, I'll say, fair enough. Does anybody actually know anything about these fucking things?
Let's ask Dumple. Maybe he knows. Does he need, so I grab Dumple kind of like, by the neck, and I've got the thing kind of dragging him over.
Okay.
So we're in the area where we can see, we're close to that wall right now, right? Like where the dragon is.
You can be within that. Yeah. So now another thing to keep in mind, you have yet to use like full light. You've used some torches. I think one of you might have cast light.
The dancing lights.
Your dancing lights. That's right. So you've used like
Screwed everybody up.
dull.
We haven't seen everything here.
Right. So like, and you're, like meta wise, your investigation checks, not great.
Right.
So
Actually 4 other dragons.
so you've been operating with insufficient light in investigating this place. So you're not even entirely sure what's in there. You just know that Chiron, after climbing up one of these walls and getting really close to it, found like the head of this dragon frozen within this glacier. So yeah, so you could pull Dumple in there, but without like bright light, he's not going to see very much. You're not going to see very much. So
does anybody
kind of
want
keep
to
that in mind?
light up this? Does anybody want to light up this room and see if we can see anything? Does anybody have anything that we could use?
I'd say regular torches.
Because torches is the only thing we had, right? Like, and that didn't work.
That's all we used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Flux's dancing lights is confusing because of
Yeah.
all the facets and reflections of this ice.
10-foot radius.
I
too.
have regular light, the regular light spell that you can cast on to something, and then it puts.
You could cast it on Chiron's pants again.
Yeah. And then you can just spider climb back up there and see what he sees. But yeah, so I can touch an object that is no longer larger than 10 feet, and until the spell ends, the object sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet.
There you go. So you have not really used bright light in here. You've kept it to like torches, which give you a little bit of bright light, but mostly the dim light, and the dancing lights, which give you kind of just dim light. So you want to do that? You can.
Let's do it. I mean, we don't know what we're working with in this room right now, so.
Did we cast anything on the door yet? Are we secure?
Let's
Or
get on
come in
that.
here any
Let's
second
get on
now?
that while we're fucking around.
I'm about to.
No.
Okay.
While everybody's talking, I'll go and I'll cast Guardian of Faith on the entrance.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, what does that?
Okay.
What does that
That
do?
do. Yeah.
Large spectral guardian appears and hovers for the duration 8 hours.
Oh shit!
When a hostile creature moves into the space within 10 feet, it has to succeed a dexterity save where it takes 20 radiant damage.
Wow.
And the guardian deals up to 60 damage and then disappears.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Cool.
So-
That's dope as shit. Can
What
I-
does your spectral guardian look like?
Yes, please.
Mhm.
A tricorn hat.
Yeah,
Explodes
it looks
there.
like Paul Revere. I think we decided that it just looks like a glowing, like the bit from Tron, like it's just like a glowing shape, like a. I can't even think of the name. Not a tetrahedron, but the. Did you see that movie Annihilation?
Nope.
No.
So
I guess it'd be like a glowing 4-dimension thing, like the Tesseract shape.
okay,
Got it.
yeah, that's cool as shit. Which
Cool.
they'll probably also be like, "What the fuck?"
Okay. Cool. So it just kind of like hovers in the air,
Yeah.
and fills that space. Cool. I just read that book, actually, Annihilation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't read the book, but the movie is pretty crazy.
I want to look for those little critters. One of the little critters that I talked to.
One of the little furred lizards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a Guardian of Faith set up at the entrance. Excellent. And
Sorry, Chiron, were you going to do something there?
I was going to cast Erupting Earth on the entrance as well. Now we're doing the first entrance.
Yeah, the main entrance. Like that's like.
Okay.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Erupting Earth work on walls?
No, it's only the ground.
I'm still confused on how we're gonna get this dragon out of the ice.
Well, we aren't, but we don't even
It's
really
gonna get
know.
him
Flux. I think Flux can melt it out somehow.
It took him forever just to melt out a couple coins.
Yeah.
I think if we piss it off enough, it'll come out on its own.
Yeah. And it
We
might
can piss
very
things
well
off.
be. It might very well be more to this story here, as far as if it's even alive or something. We don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Some of us do.
So erupting
probably
Earth
just
is a 20-foot cube, and it makes each 5-foot square requires a 1 minute to clear by hand. It's difficult terrain.
But you could clear it if we get through this. You could clear it afterwards, right? With like some mold earth type shit, right?
Trapping ourselves inside of this cave.
Well, we can
we'd
get
have to
across
clear
it.
it. We'd have to clear it by hand. It's difficult
I have-
terrain. I mean,
I have mold. I have mold.
So is
Okay.
that a good idea? Because then maybe we're going to be trapping ourselves inside of this cave with the possibly hostile dragon.
What is going to happen? That it's going to run in there. What is the plan? I guess
Yeah.
Right now, we're making it difficult for
that
them.
matters.
Right
we're making
now-
it difficult for them to get in. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which I think, but me, Flux, and Chiron can get out easy.
So
Well, and Flux can cast Spider Climb on 2 more people, right?
I could.
So you drawing straws.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think we could figure it out. I think in the event that we have to get out, it's difficult terrain. It's not impassable terrain.
It's just a dragon.
Well, and I also will. I'll also cast rope trick, so we at least have an hour to sit there and devise a plan too.
If the dragon wakes up, Nova can cast her murder gas on the dragon.
Yeah,
I was going to
murder
ask
gas
you if
just
I should cast the murder gas in the
Why don't you
difficult
wait?
terrain.
Well, how long does that last?
Then the wind will blow it in on us.
Yeah. I don't want that outside.
How long does that last, Nova?
It only lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah, so
although
hold off on
they're-
that. Like,
They're
Yeah.
probably going to be here in 10 minutes.
well, I'm thinking about the second group because we don't know how many people are in that.
Okay.
We have like Spectral Guardian, difficult terrain. We can be popping shots. If I'm in the dark, I'll have advantage anyway because they won't be able to see me. And I should have advantage on attacks, I believe, Jeremy, from the dark unless they can see me for some other reason.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
that's not a guarantee. It's just like depending on what their abilities are and stuff.
If you share that information, like that tactic, like your idea, Chiron, you would know that those under the Dark One's powers often can see into and through darkness in a magical way. So while Ward's idea is a good one, it might not be as effective as he thinks it is.
No advantage.
I relay that to Ward.
Yeah.
As eloquently as that.
So either way, though, like we have good. It's a choke point. We'll be causing them damage coming in, difficult terrain coming in. Theoretically,
I could use mold earth maybe to make a back door if we needed to make an escape through somewhere else. In that
So
second room?
this is ice.
Yeah. Ice and
Oh,
snow.
So
Earth.
shape water would
Gotcha.
do the
Ah.
job, but mold earth will not. Yeah,
Never mind.
got to be a waterbender for this place.
Will Erupting Earth then do anything?
It might. You're not entirely sure how deep down you would have to be pulling that earth from.
Right, because it's earth and stone. It doesn't do anything to
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great.
You're not sure how deep the ice is below you.
I'd like to still give it a try. It might tell us something too about the ice.
but I'm definitely looking for one of those little creatures to talk to.
Okay, so Chiron, let's do yours first. So you're trying to cast Erupting Earth on the entrance to basically make it difficult terrain. So
Yep.
it's blocking their easy
Yep.
entrance. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay, how tall is Erupting Earth? Is it 60 feet?
No, it's a 20-foot cube.
20-foot
Centered-
cube.
Centered on a point that I can see on
Okay.
the ground.
Okay.
So 10 feet down, I guess, right?
Ooh, All right, so you've got to see that point. Oh man. Make an intelligence save.
Again, this is if we all ever die right here, guys.
Is it?
16.
Okay, so you are able to focus and start looking through the layers of the ice that are at the entrance of this cave.
Oh yeah.
And the warping of the different layers that have frozen at different times and melted are certainly refracting the light in different ways, but perhaps with Flux's use of dancing lights the previous night, you've gotten a little bit more accustomed to looking through that. I'm imagining like those magic eye paintings. So like you kind of like relax your eyes and you're able to kind of look through the different layers of the ice. And at the bottom, you can make out a small pile of stones. And you believe that it is a sailboat. You see a sailboat with an astronaut. You can make out what you believe is the bottom of this glacier, resting on the stone and earth of this mountainside. So you cast this spell, and you can see the earth start to break up through and shattering the ice as it passes upwards. I'm going to have you make a dexterity save as the ice breaks around you and creates a hazardous, slippery terrain.
Nat 20, so 21.
Okay, so you brace yourself easily as this earth kind of erupts from beneath the ice, breaks the surface, and then kind of bursts out into the air a bit and then collapses. So it looks like if it was a 20-foot cube that you just manifested, you probably got about a quarter of that to burst above the ice, enough to create the difficult terrain. But knowing that it's not going to be, most of what makes this difficult terrain is not the earth, it's the ice that was broken, making it kind of jagged and slippery.
Hell yeah.
Anybody within the cave, go ahead and make a dexterity save as small shards of ice start falling from the ceiling from the shaking of this entire cavern due to Chiron's spell.
10.
30, 20.
18.
And Nova?
9.
Okay, so Nova and Ward, each of you are going to take 3 damage. Koli, you will take 1 damage. Flux and Delyaries as rogues with evasion. You both succeeded and therefore don't take any. So rogues. Even when they fail, they save for half. So
that's the thing about it.
Yeah, pretty slick. All right. Okay, so as that happens, Chiron, you can see now that the Brotherhood of Nard has approached. They've gotten to kind of the rim of the bottom of this valley, that depression that leads into this cave, and they start firing their weapons in your direction. So we're gonna make a couple of attacks, miss, and hit once.
Is anyone outside the cave?
Just Chiron.
Oh.
So yeah, they're kind of like they're at the edge of that depression, that kind of the cave entrance level, if you will. So Chiron, that is 3 damage.
Nice.
That you will take.
Boom.
And okay, let's go back inside as you're casting that. Ward, roll investigation.
20 away. What was that? That was a smart move. Man, I'm just rolling terrible tonight. 9.
9. You look around, and while there may have been some in here to find, the rattling of the cave ceiling due to Chiron's spell has scattered them, most likely into hiding, and you don't, unfortunately, you don't see any.
Okay, two real quick things then, since I don't see them. I will say, do I know if they ate meat or what kind of food those things ate? Since I was in their head for a minute, just looking.
You would know that they eat other small creatures that exist in this ice and snow. So you'd have an idea that it's probably some kind of weird insect that's adapted to the cold. Worms, perhaps, that are also writhing through the ice and the snow.
They would eat small little dudes.
Yeah.
If offered. Okay, good to know. That being said, I will let me just look at the cave real quick. I think in the middle portion of the cave, I will go in there and pull up my length of rope, and I'm gonna toss it. I'm gonna have like I don't want people to not be able to get in easily. Let's say I'll just say 6 feet off the ground.
Okay.
And I'll cast it there, and I'll leave the rope hanging out, and I'll show everybody where that is. But I want it to be out of the sight of Dumple is really what I'm getting at.
Got it. Okay. So making sure that he doesn't know where it is.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely do that
Yeah.
easily.
Okay.
So
I go in there, say open. I relay where everybody is, and as I do, that's it. Everybody can, I don't know. That's it for now. And then I'll just sort of take up position like behind the choke point and wait and see what transpires, I suppose, with everybody else.
How about Delyaries? What are you doing?
I think I had Dumple still, kind of by knife point or dagger point.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in the third room, like in the room that had the most gold on the floor.
Yep. And that's kind of like the largest room of this cave. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just kind of keeping him back so he couldn't see the rope trick anyway.
Okay.
Is anybody else in that room with me, or is everybody in the second part of the room, a cave?
I'll leave it as Chiron and Koli would definitely not be there because they're casting spells like at the entrance. Ward is currently out of sight, casting the rope trick. I'll leave it up to Flux and Nova if the two of you are with Delyaries in that chamber.
Yeah.
Main big chamber?
Yes. Yeah.
I'd probably be in the second chamber.
Okay. So Nova, if you're basically the last one that might be in that third chamber.
I guess what is are we trying to, because the dragon is up in the main chamber.
Yes.
The big one, right? So is that what the next phase of our plan is? If so, then she would be in there.
I think we were talking about it, but we didn't decide like if we were going to light up the third room or not.
Okay, well, she'll just hang out in there then with you.
Okay. So I guess we're not doing anything without the rest of the group. We're just going to kind of remain in that third room until we get word from everybody else.
Okay. All right. And Flux, are you just going to hang in that second room until? You're going to see Ward
at the first choke point.
Okay.
Where's Ward? Sorry.
So Ward is going to be somewhere in this area. So he's casting that rope trick after the second choke point, kind of hidden deeper within the cave. So you would probably be the only person that actually sees that because Delyaries is keeping Dumple, away. So
yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how about Koli and Chiron? The two of you are basically at that entrance casting your spells. You're seeing, some arrows and other small blasts of magical power are starting to hit a little bit closer. They're definitely closing in on your position. You see the first group, Dumple's group, his team is there now. You know from Ward's assessment that the second group will be here in probably just a couple minutes. So what are the two of you? What do you do?
I'm hoping I cast it behind me and not between me and the open cave.
Yes. Yeah. I assume that's what you did.
You too. Okay. I guess I would just spider climb along the walls, which is probably what these guys are going to do anyways. So it's good. I forgot about that. Look at his face. Oh, it's so great. I think I'm going to cast. I'm gonna re-up bark skin on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move further into the cave.
Okay. Does that get you to 16 for your armor
so
class?
I had had
Okay.
it before and it definitely expired. So yes, keep me at 16.
Okay. Cool. Koli.
I'll move to the back of the entrance tunnel.
Okay.
And just ready my bow and an arrow, and then I'll just yell into the main cave that here they come, get ready, that kind of thing.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Koli I'm going to put you at kind of the guarding the entrance. Guard entrance. Flux is second chamber. Delyaries is third. Ward is second. Chiron is second. And Nova, sounded like you were in the middle as well, right? Second chamber?
No, third.
Third chamber. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you hear the shouts outside. What kind of save is it for the Guardian of Faith?
Dex save.
A dex save. All right.
What is it? 15.
Dex save 15. Okay.
Fail.
All right. Koli, you see a bird fly towards the entrance, kind of dips out of the sky above you into view, and tries to bank away from your Guardian of Faith, and you see it fail to get around it. And there's kind of a flash of light as your Guardian sears it with. It's a radiant damage that it does?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, there's this flash of light as it sears this object, and it just goes stiff and then clatters on the ground and then kind of slides across the ice, and you can see that the edges of it are red hot. And then you can see that the heat, it's kind of melts into the ice a little bit and then settles as it cools. It appears to be another mechanical bird, similar to the one that Delyaries was able to recover. Your Guardian of the Faith has done, that's going to be 10 damage. So it can deal 50 more. You hear shouts outside, and you catch a glimpse of somebody just outside the entrance, kind of keeping their distance from your spell, trying to look and navigate the difficult terrain as well at the same time, trying to assess the situation. You can take a shot at them if you'd like. You've got a split second to see them. You can take the shot if you want.
Yeah, if they're hanging out, kind of observing too long, I'll take a shot at them.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll your attack.
7.
7. That will miss. And you just hear a laugh and a couple whistles outside as they make kind of a round of comments at your inaptitude.
As Flux hears that, he would probably step out if it's close enough to do that and make an attack. Can I do that?
Yeah. So you see Koli kind of loose that arrow. You hear the laughter and a couple whistles. So you step out, and if you want to launch something,
I lose Firebolt.
Okay, go for it.
Just through the door with a 21.
Okay, that will definitely hit. Go ahead and roll that damage.
Oh, it's 2d10. 6 damage.
Okay. The laughter turns to a little bit of a shout as the figure that was investigating the entrance gets hit by your firebolt and jumps out of sight.
That's right. You better shut up.
Okay. And that was 6 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. So from out of sight, you hear the voice of the Goliath, Eris. You recognize it immediately, and we can wait out here as long as we need to. Why don't you just make it easy on us, and we can be on our way, give you swift deaths.
That's nice.
So considerate.
Does everybody hear that, or just Koli and Flux?
I think all of you would hear it because he's definitely kind of like shouting it into the cave, so it's echoing through. It might not be as clear as that, but you would hear it.
Okay. Shout out to him. I accept your offer. Come on in and deliver.
And you hear kind of that deep chuckle again. Yes, sure. You do know that our captain is on the way. We have reinforcements. If we need to wait you out, we will. Nothing that you have here will last forever.
We know all your secrets. Dumple has told us everything.
There's like a moment of silence, and then
Holding this.
Dumple knows nothing. In fact, why have you not already killed him?
Is he telling the truth? Is there a way that, I don't know if there's
Go ahead and roll insight.
17, 18.
Your knowledge of having met Dumple and talked with him, he's probably right. Dumple's a little bit of an idiot.
Okay.
Nice.
Can we gauge Dumple's? Would that look over at Dumple's to see if Dumple heard that?
Sure. I would say with that insight check, he looks he is putting on a brave face. He also looks a little scared and upset that the Brotherhood would just like say that. Like just kill him. Like,
so as soon as I notice that, then if I see that, I will turn, take a couple steps as if I'm walking towards him. I look at Delyaries and say, well, I guess if he's not going to talk or tell anything of use, sounds like he's telling the truth. Might as well off him now. And I'm putting on a show to see if Dumple will spill anything of note.
okay.
I'll kind of put the knife or the dagger to his throat and just say, so Dumple, any last words?
So go ahead and I'm gonna say, Ward, you're gonna roll the intimidation check on this, but you will have advantage because
that might not be enough.
because Delyaries is helping you with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thankfully, with the advantage, a 19, so -1. And 18.
-1 intimidation.
Yeah.
I get.
Me too.
I get no charisma. Charisma is intimidate. You could do alternate ability checks for intimidation, but rules is written. It's charisma. So 18.
I would say full orc and Goliath's strength might be a viable, but as in your human-ish form.
I'm not big enough. I'm not
right.
I'm not intimidating them. It would be a force of will charisma thing. So it's relying on words and stuff. So, but 18.
18. So you see Dumple crack, and he starts, freaking out a little bit. And no, wait. What do you want to know?
Do you know anybody? So, if I walk in there, if I see that, I'll say, well, first of all, do you know anything about what's in here?
What? No. Why? Why would I know that?
All right.
Have you been here before?
No.
Okay. Tell us what you know about them then.
Well, the boss, Sergeant, that's Eris, the Goliath. He's really strong, and he's really mean. And our scout is Ben. He's human. He's human. Nightwind. He's our mage. And he kind of like scrunches up to show that it's kind of like he's trying to display that they have a little bit of magic.
How were they able to find? Delyaries is asking, how were they able to find us?
And he, well, you're carrying familiars.
He's the familiar.
And he kind of like looks back, cranes his neck kind of sideways to look at you, Delyaries, and then the sergeant, and you believe that he's referring to Argor.
Oh, right.
Okay. Dumbfounded.
So they can. Does he mean that they just were able to track him because of Argor, or because Argor? Is he saying betrayal, or is he saying more like just his existence, like because of the link with the that I assume he has, or does he not know? He might not even know.
Probably doesn't even know.
That's what he's telling you. What he knows.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for clarification, he doesn't have it.
All right.
Maybe
yeah.
I think we already knew that there might be, like, we already suspected that at the beginning, because when the first time we saw Argor after he was disappeared, it was like the big array of arrows, right? So he kind of brought the fight with him, and we're like, we didn't have time to really ask him questions. We just had to defend.
How many are there in this other group besides yours?
Well, my squad's got one more. The Dragonborn. His name is Sneerfang, and he's the soldier. He's pretty tough and angry, like all the time. He's just a dick. I hate him. And then the other group, the other squad is four. There's Quill, Robertson, Corporal, and Scratch.
Could you call him off? Could you call them, tell them to leave this area?
And he's like wide-eyed, like he's freaked out that if he says no, that you're just going to kill him, but he doesn't have an answer that's not no.
Okay, so why shouldn't we kill you right now to be rid of your pain in the ass existence?
I could be useful. I could give you more. And he seems to be failing to come up with anything more that he might be able to provide you.
All right, we'll figure you out later. And I just smack him on the forehead and try to knock him out.
Okay.
I actually take a belt out of my, I think I have a belt inside of my traveler's pack or something. And then I just kind of bind it around with his mouth. It's like that.
So like gag him.
Gag him so he can't scream or he can't yell or talk.
Okay. So Ward, yeah, he's bound. You knock him out. Like that's not it's not going to be difficult for you to do. Yeah.
So I would make sure that everybody understands that there's like 4 or 5 outside, and that there's 4 more at least coming in the second group, is what Dumple said. And I would probably just take my previous position and just kind of like assess. But I would, if anybody didn't hear, I would make sure that they knew, like Koli specifically. Like I would imagine Koli and Flux being out front or closer to the entrance.
Okay. So you're able to relay all of that information. And so while that has been happening, Chiron, Koli, and Flux, you are seeing that occasionally you'll see a head kind of like peek out real quick into view and then duck out of view, and you can hear the voice again of Eris. Well, I see that you've been able to squeeze everything you could out of that idiot. I assume it hasn't helped your cause any. Have you changed your mind about how quickly you'd like to die?
I think Chiron's going to step up kind of to the front of the group, obviously, not out of sight. and I'm going to say, don't make us unleash the dragon in here.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
And there's silence outside. Argor, I didn't take you for someone to bluff, nor as being foolhardy.
I will respond to him. Argor's not here.
Oh, and that is where you are wrong. That is why this might be the end of the road for you.
Oh boy. Guys.
And I'm pointing all this. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to point up towards the dragon, and I'm going to look at Flux.
All right.
And I'm gonna if I do I see him do that? Do I see him do that?
Yeah, I think all of you are basically together at this point. So yeah,
I will. If I see that, I will motion everybody to the rope trick too. I will just remind you guys that it's there.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to pull Dumple into the rope trick?
No.
Okay.
Well, he'll either.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm not.
He'll either. So I guess three options, right? He'll either tell him, right? If he survives, the dragon will kill him, or if we bring him in there, he'll make noise. But is he knocked out?
He's knocked out and gagged. So yeah,
nice.
If we go up there, I'll bring him with me.
Did he see us create the rope trick though? He must have.
No, he did not.
No.
I probably would grab him since I'm the one doing that. I don't know if I wouldn't be the first to do it. So let's say if nobody else has, I probably would fucking do it and be angry that I had to do it.
Bring him into the rope trick?
Yes. Because he did turn and it's like he's like our prisoner, and there's
he's our prisoner. He could be a piece of bait, I guess. Like if we did wake up that dragon.
I want to be better than the people that are chasing us.
Is that right?
You're sounding like Nova.
So I will look at Nova and say,
Nova doesn't care about Dumple.
Nova.
You wake up the dragon, you can cast light on Dumple.
Yeah. He's a halfling. He's definitely smaller than 10 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say. He fits within the criteria.
Yep.
What is our general plan? Are we going to be waiting in the rope trick for them to continue to come in, or just they're waiting outside?
You gotta taunt them in somehow, right?
I say we fucking if we're able to wake the dragon up.
That's a big if. Yeah, but I agree.
Okay, so if we don't care about Dumple, if you guys want to be straight up assholes to Dumple, wake him up.
You can care about Dumple.
He gonna run away, and the dragon probably gonna maybe chase him, and that's what. And he's gonna.
I don't want to outright I'm fine with leaving him.
It's a perfect way to lead the dragon out of the cave, though.
That's what I'm saying. Dumple running away, and then the dragon. If you guys don't care about
throw some dragon treats out in the entrance.
This is me. What Ward's gonna do? He's probably gonna be like, "Let's be better than them." Maybe,
is this going to be like Jurassic Park where we leave that lamb and then like right in the path of the dinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, that's our Dumple.
Chiron, make a wisdom save.
I'm going to use my coin.
Okay.
That was a nat 1.
Oh dear.
Okay. Let's try that again. 13.
Okay.
Better than that one.
Better than that one. And you've been injured already?
Yep.
Take 13 psychic damage.
Okay.
As you hear the sound of bells filling your mind.
I I look up. I can't see the dragon at all, right? It's just too dark up there.
None of you have cast anything with bright light in that chamber. So no, you can't see the ceiling and you can't really make out the walls too clearly either. So that's like, you've basically been relying on torchlight and dancing lights. So.
Yeah, I mean, anyone have blind sight? Not blind sight, but can anyone see invisible stuff? Because that was told the dead, right?
Most likely. Mm-hmm.
Right. And
I don't know.
Told the dead they have to see me.
Is it possible that if we cast that light, that we're gonna wake the dragon up just by casting the light? It's like turning on the bedroom lights.
Say, let's fucking give it a
Hey.
shot.
Let's do it.
The call's coming from inside the house.
I say,
If I
I
light
say
up the
just
dragon,
fucking
can
do
you
it.
see? All right.
If I light up the dragon,
I'm
if
gonna
I
try
pull
to
its
time.
tail, will it turn on a light?
I'm gonna try to time.
Clap on.
I'm gonna try to. If he casts like something so we could see up there, I'm gonna try to time Hunter's Mark, so that I can try to Hunter's Mark the dragon.
Okay. All right.
I just want to make sure it wasn't lost. There's something in here with us that we don't know about.
That's fair.
Okay.
I don't
Yep.
like. I can't see it. I don't know. I don't have anything to see it unless somebody has to see invisibility.
Delyaries and Ward, go ahead and roll a history check.
How much light can I create just from my body? From like,
I think just dim
whatever it's
light.
called. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Reach the flame, produce flame. Yeah.
19.
17.
Okay. The two of you heard Dumple say something about familiars. And now Chiron is saying that something can see you.
Oh, there's a familiar in here.
Is that?
And Delyaries,
Mhm.
you have something in your possession that was given to you by Zook,
The card.
as does Chiron.
Oh, shit.
Son
The
of
one
a
I have-
bitch!
The one I have was,
This damn card has been it's been following us by this card.
does the one I
Oh.
have that Argor gave me, is that the same type of thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mother, father.
I've got the whole deck.
Damn cards. These
Oh.
cards this is how they've been finding us with these cards. Zook set us up from the very beginning. The big light bulb just came on.
I will
And I
take.
burn my card immediately.
What kind of fire do you use?
Hot fire.
Okay. All right. So you
I would have just used produce flame.
okay. So produce flame is, I don't think produce flame is magical fire.
No.
Okay.
I don't
So the
think so.
card does not burn.
Ah, this card is
Son of a bitch.
magic.
Yeah, that's cool. So I'm gonna just throw.
Magical
Can I
fire.
do one of those cool and try to like throw the? I don't know what to do. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tie it to an arrow. I'm gonna say, everybody, give me your cards.
I got a whole deck here.
Okay. Well, how many can I tie to an arrow to be?
I mean,
able
you
to
can just
fire
put the head right through it.
Can I? Will that allow? Will? Can I DM?
Fly like
you
10
need to
feet.
do like a strength check or something like that.
Yeah.
You ever ripped a phone book in half before?
Yeah.
Ward?
Go ahead and I mean,
Anybody
you're
have a
gonna,
mage hand?
yeah, you're using like, that would be using an improvised weapon because you don't stab with an arrow. Like it's not built to be stabbed
Yeah.
with. Yeah, I'm gonna say you're gonna have a very difficult time trying to stab an arrow through a deck of cards.
They also already know that we're in here.
Yeah, why don't we just throw the cards
So we
down
could
the
just leave the
floor?
cards in here.
Can table
No,
that.
he can see me because of that, so he's
Yeah.
doing damage to me.
Yeah.
Oh, well then put it out at the front and then come back.
I can use mage hand and just
you
float 'em
walk out there.
Actually, point of
I got mage hand. I'll just float them out outside.
point of
That's all we
point
need
of.
to do.
I have a question, DM.
Mhm.
Mine is in the bag of holding.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make a difference that it's in a pocket dimension?
I don't know. Have you been attacked by any sort of spell?
No, I haven't.
We should put
Everybody,
it in the bag
quick!
of holding.
Put it in the bag of holding. Let's see if it works. And then we all just
Pull the
fucking
cards
get,
out, get a word.
and then I just get. Bah! So I'll take everybody's cards at least to see if that works.
Yeah. So as you realize, like, you haven't been affected by any of these spells. Really, it's only been Chiron. Delyaries, you also realize that Chiron is the only one having been affected. Not Flux, not Ward, not you.
What suit can we? Chiron, can we look at your card?
Sure.
He's
I
got a whole
have a whole deck.
He has the whole
He has
deck.
the whole deck. We only
Short of
It's a 4.
3 cards. So he does not have the
Queen of Hearts, Ace of Spades.
the ones that we have.
right. So, but Delyaries, the card that you have was not from Chiron's deck. It was from Zook's deck.
That's
The
right.
ones that Flux, Nova, and Ward had are from Chiron's deck, but Nova burnt hers, or she left behind, or something.
Nova
like that.
stepped on it. She looked
Yeah.
me in the eye.
He did not. He like left it out and I never saw it. So I had no reason to go and pick up that card
Right.
So
or something like that.
So I have. Oh man, I had that list too. Where are they? Here we go. So Flux, Flux has the King of Diamonds,
Queen of Hearts, I
and
think.
the Queen of Hearts,
And I had the Ace of Spades.
and the Ace of Spades for Ward,
Mhm.
and then you gave Nova the Jack of Hearts, but it was left behind. Delyaries has the Ace of Hearts, which was given to her from Zook.
so
Oh, I have it in my notes. I have Jack of Hearts, healing word to save me. So I was unconscious when the card was
Mhm.
presented. And so when I woke up, I didn't see it and left it on the ground.
So I kind of pick up my card, take it out. And then metagame, I'm saying, I'm really bad at escape room puzzles. But like in game, I'm telling everybody, what the heck does this card how is this card attracting them? Like, I think this is the beacon. This is the key. This is like the tie from Zook to know where we are.
Yeah. Let's put them in the bag of holding. Is that what we want to try, or something else?
I think bag of holding.
At least for
That
now,
sounds
and we'll see how if some disaster strikes, we'll know why.
So as this is happening, Chiron, make another wisdom save.
Hurry up and put it in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
17.
Okay, so you save against that one,
Nice.
and now you have successfully thrown all of the cards into the bag folding.
Nice.
Oh man, good to be me.
Okay.
Wow.
And I'll say, guys, what's going on with that fucking dragon?
All right.
Okay.
And Flux burns the dragon.
So Flux,
So-
you go into the third chamber.
Okay.
Mhm.
As if I was going to attack a dragon, I will use the same demeanor, the same fortitude of my spells to take a deep breath and just blast. I don't know what it would be. It would probably be burning hands, I guess. It's like a first.
I think
level
your burning hands
spell.
or scorching ray.
Scorching ray.
would probably
Scorching ray
be.
would probably be whatever I've got that's the best fire thing.
Mhm.
So it's 3 scorching rays, just right. I probably can't see it, but I know where it is. Right,
You know where it
dragon.
is, yeah. You've got an idea of like where Chiron was. I'm imagining you do have a little bit of dim light in here, so you know, like you're not in complete darkness.
I'd probably cast a little produce flame, just a little like torch light up toward the ceiling to flash
Mhm.
an image maybe on the ceiling of the cave of what I'm aiming at, and then right toward the dragon's eyeball.
Mhm.
I would cast 3 scorching rays.
Yes. And if I can see,
like,
so well,
fire
I cannot-
everywhere.
cannot
And
wait. Okay.
if I can see it, remember, if I can see it, if I can't, I obviously I know I can't cast it. But if I actually get any glimpse of the dragon at all,
You're going to cast Hunter's Mark on it. Okay, perfect. All right. So as Flux goes into where are the rest of you going?
Next to the rope trick.
Yeah.
Okay.
After I cast the first scorching ray, I'm like, oh yeah, watch out, guys, watch out. And then
Oh, you're doing even more now.
No. Flux is just he's action oriented, so he just does things. He doesn't necessarily discuss those ideas or tactics with everybody else before he does it.
Nova is currently climbing up the rope.
All right, so Nova's like climbing into the rope trick. How about Koli? What are you doing now that it's basically been decided that you're gonna, as collectively as a group, somehow wake up this dragon and use it as defense?
I'm gonna hang out and see if this fire works.
Okay.
If it doesn't, I've got some ideas, but I'm gonna see if
all right,
if Flux can actually melt all that ice to break the dragon free. I'm kind of impressed if he does.
All right, Delyaries, what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna kind of hang out at the entrance to the third cave, like not necessarily in it, like where they're at, but just a little bit in between, so that I can. She wants to see it, but she's trying to stay away from any like immediate. So hey, I'm here. Yeah.
So you'd be like kind of near the rope trick. Then,
yeah, and actually, well, not near the rope trick because that's in the second room, but she's probably going to be hanging out like on the like wall, on the rock wall, where anywhere it's dim. So she's kind of hiding in the shadows.
Okay.
In that third room.
Chiron.
Heading towards the rope trick.
Okay, rope trick and Ward.
I'm waiting there next to Flux because I'm trying to get a bead on it so I can cast it.
Perfect. Flux, go ahead and roll your 3 attacks or whatever it is for the Scorching Ray.
Oh, okay.
I forget how many attack rolls there are.
There's 3. Shoot. Well, that's an 12.
Okay.
That's an 8. Fucking A. And that is another 12. So,
okay.
Shit. Can I use my coin though for at least one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can. All right.
Mm-hmm.
13. Oh, God damn it! And then I use
your Tides of Chaos.
Tides of Chaos.
Oh no!
And that's fucking 8.
What the fuck? Get new dice, please.
What the hell? All right. Wow. Wow.
All right. So Flux, you are the flame kind of like starts flickering off of your body, right? Like we've kind of talked about in the past where when you're casting your spells or when you get angry, like that kind of manifests your emotions and manifests in a physical way of the flame on your body. So
yeah,
you're like pulling this this power, this sorcerer's power from within you, and looking to the ceiling, and you launch the first ray, and it flies through the air and hits this ice wall, and you see that the ice is solid and reflective, very mirror like. So that magic kind of hits, and you can see that some of it melts, but as you do, the magic kind of gets refracted a bit through this ice and kind of dissipates a bit. A lot of the force and damage that you normally are able to put into it is diffused, and so you blast a second one, and you leave kind of a melt mark in the wall behind that ray of flame, and then you cast your third one, and it does kind of the same things, but now you've just got like crisscrosses of these smoothed out, oddly reflective portions of this wall that don't match the same like planes and edges of the crystals that were there before you were launching these attacks. Unfortunately, it does not appear that you were able to focus that fire into anything that was going to do meaningful damage to the cave walls on this attack. Now, you could certainly try again, but that Just
I
it
should
didn't.
use just my cantrip. Yeah.
Was
Cantrip's
that-
got +6?
was I
I'm
able to
using
see the dragon?
+3 here.
No. The fire was kind of like diffused, and then the light of it kind of created a little bit of a difficult thing to look through.
All right, so I learned from this. If you say try it again, I learned from this.
Mhm.
The scorching ray's got a little bit more ocular properties that do bounce and refract through the ice. So I'm thinking, all right, let me slow it down. Let me reel it in a little bit.
This is clearly magical. Why don't we try to dispel magic on it?
Make an Arcana check.
I look at Koli and I pull out a stick of wood and I start
16.
whittling.
16. Okay. So with that, you know that if you were going to be using Firebolt, that most likely you're not going to be able to generate enough heat with that spell to do really anything. Like Scorching Ray, Burning Hands, like those are going to be much more powerful. Able to kind of overcome. The problem is that you weren't focused enough and you weren't targeting properly.
All right, fair enough. So Burning Hands is just a dex save though. So I don't know. Yeah, I would think that maybe slowing down the heat expulsion rate so that the heat is allowed to propagate into the ice and melt it, piss off the dragon. I would have optimal piss off force with Burning Hands.
Okay.
Burning Hands, aka optimal piss off force.
Okay. So you cast Burning Hands. Now you're casting it at a wall. It will automatically fail the dex save.
Okay, good.
So
I'll cast Bless.
just in case. Or you casting Bless on the wall to give it a plus D4 to its dex save.
Which is 0.
Meanwhile, they're out front going, what are those guys doing? They were talking to us.
Smoke is like coming out the front entrance of the cave.
So definitely steam. I mean, I would say that steam's definitely like starting to billow up near the ceiling. So you cast Burning Hands, and a sheet of fire kind of emanates from your hands and strikes the wall, and you can see the flames kind of hit the ice and then start washing upwards as it melts. Water is dripping to the ground. And go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll 3d6 fire damage. See what you're able to pull out of with that.
We got a 12.
12. Okay, nice. So you create a pretty solid like indentation into this ice with that spell, and water still kind of like steams and is dripping to the ground before freezing again. Ward, with the light from the Burning Hands focused and solid for those few moments of being cast, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Okie dokie. 21.
Okay. So you notice the dragon's head at the top of this cavern, and you're able to cast your hunter's mark on it.
Okay.
And the reflection of that fire throughout, you're now realizing that the body of this dragon is wrapped around this entire cavern, that the strange geometric shapes that you had seen within the walls, even upon the very entrance of it the previous night in the dim light, you had assumed were perhaps the texture of the ice after refreezing and melting and refreezing and melting, is actually the scales of a very long serpentine body within this entire cave.
Hey, Flux. Hey, buddy.
You know that this dragon may be, judging from the reflections that you've seen, could be between 40 and 100 feet long, is thin and snaking around through all of this ice. you can also tell that it is most likely within this ice because of its own design.
Mm-hmm.
So it put itself there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So would I, and having investigated the room before, was there any point in the room that seemed a little bit more less deep than the head, or that we would have a clearer shot at if we're going to keep going down this road anyway?
I would say that the head is probably, if you're trying to wake it up, hitting the head is going to be the most effective way of doing that.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It may not be the easiest to access, but I think that it, like, prioritizing waking it up, that would be it.
I don't know. Flux, hold on. This whole room, those designs, that's the dragon.
Yeah, I know. And I'm ready to fire another.
Well, with my hunter's mark to that end, am I able to get a sense? I mean, all it does is give me advantage on perception or survival checks to find it, so I don't necessarily have any other information. So I guess never mind. But I definitely did find purchase. I mean, it's not a charm or anything, or whatever.
There's a question,
right,
Ward.
Yeah.
What happens to us if we're in the rope trick and the mountain comes down around us?
I don't know. I think the game's over. I mean, we are in a pocket dimension. So what would happen is that would disperse, and whatever area is there, when it disperses, we would be thrust into. And I imagine if that's solid wall, we're fucked. Or solid like rock formation of some kind. You know what I mean? Like
if the rope gets burned, like what if the dragon?
The rope isn't part of it. Like we pull the rope in, it's not. There's no exposure to the outside of the rope unless I throw the end of the rope out. So if that's in it, my guess is, and obviously Jeremy, it's your call, but my guess is if it dispels, it's all about what space is there for it to dispel what we would sort of pop into.
Yes.
So we could be royally fucked if the whole thing came down, for sure.
Yeah. Which is not unlikely.
Well, actually, to that end.
Yeah.
Are we worried about that?
I mean, we're on the side of a cliff, so if this just like falls into the ocean and we fall out of the rope trick.
Then we're hovering 100.
I mean, I'll be okay, but I don't know about the rest of you guys.
Oh God. Do we have to get out of this room in order to wake up this dragon?
We still have at least 7 hours on the Guardian of Faith, and the rough terrain seems to be keeping them back. I think maybe they're just bluffing. Maybe they can't come in to get us.
Go ahead and roll insight, Koli.
There you go. 7.
7. Okay.
I'm just talking out of my ass.
You think that most likely they're just waiting out your spell. Like the difficult terrain, they'll be able to get through, but your spell, like they sent through a test, right? And they saw the small mechanical bird like get fried. So they're not idiots. So they're just waiting to see if it dissipates.
Can they wait out in the elements for that long?
Well, there'll be more of them too, right? There's like a second wave coming.
Right. Yeah. So you know that they've been living out in these mountains, like presumably at least as long as you have been. Yeah. It's not enjoyable. It's not easy, but they can do it. And you also know that you've pulled them into a pretty sheltered area within these mountains, like comparatively to the peaks and everything. So even if they're just sitting outside of this cavern, it's much more protected than it was really anywhere else.
I'll look at Ward and Flux. So, dragon or no dragon? I can see Flux wants the dragon.
I know. He's like, I cast Burning Hands again.
Flux, when you were in the forge, did that creature, being whatever was in there with you, did he mention anything about the dragon?
We didn't get that far. It was he was clearly being held against his will and not too happy about life.
He was the only one in there?
Oh man.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
I want to die. Let's just put it that way.
Ward, Flux, go stand by the rope trick. We'll see if this works.
Can we move rope trick into the front foyer so that we're at least a little bit closer?
You got to tug it by the rope like an air balloon.
I don't think I can.
Well, that's a good question. Can you move rope trick when people are in it?
No,
I don't think so. I think once it's
No.
cast, that's where
It's
it
there.
stays. Yeah.
Okay, so you've already cast it.
Mhm.
This is what it looks like to people. If you saw it, a length of rope is just vertical.
Yeah.
You climb in on top, and then when you pull the rope in, the rope isn't actually part of the space. It's just how you get into the space.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right. Well, Koli just suggested that Flux and Ward get to the rope trick. Do you listen?
I say to Koli,
What do we see up above? Anything?
You see, you still don't have bright light in there, so
Yeah.
basically you don't see a whole lot.
Do we hear
Yeah.
anything? Anything moving?
You hear
Piss anything off yet?
You hear sizzling,
Oh,
like if the steam melted water dripping and then freezing and cracking. You can hear like the ice around you kind of like shift a little bit from the change in temperature. That's what you hear.
okay. We can look out from rope trick, right? So I would probably head that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's
you
a
can
small
look out.
window to
Yeah.
look out.
Mhm.
You just can't affect anything.
Yeah.
I will. Where's Dumple? Did you pull him in or not? Delyaries, you had him, so did you pull him in or not?
I had him, but I don't think I'm strong enough to pull him in. So if one of you guys wanted to,
I'm not strong enough either.
Flux is pretty strong. Don't you have like a +2 to strength? Or something?
No.
Yeah, I'm not strong enough.
But
Sorry, guys.
we were thinking
Give
about
me
just
an
leaving him
equal
out.
amount of gold to carry, though. I'm pretty sure I can make it work.
We
Leave
were
him
gonna
out
just-
next to me. I think I might need him.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I was gonna say let's put him near Koli.
He's
Okay.
knocked out, right?
I
Yes,
will.
He's still unconscious. Yep.
I'll look at Koli and I'll say, "You son of a bitch! You crazy son of a bitch! I thought Flux was the only one. But make sure you get to the rope trick as soon as you do whatever it is you're doing. We need you."
And right as he says that, I'll cast control water, and I'll use the part water and try and create a fissure in the ice along where the dragon's going.
Yes.
Whoa.
There we go.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
So Ward, you turn and start running
Shit.
towards the rope trick. And Koli, what does this look like? Because like with control water, this is going to be instead of you trying to use like Flux, he's trying to use
Mhm.
one element to affect another element. You're just like, no, I'm just going to directly change the features of this element. So kind of describe what that looks like and how this cavern kind of reacts to it, I guess.
So from what Ward told me, the whole cavern is the dragon. So
Yeah.
with Dumble at my feet and with Ward running back to the rope trick, I'll put my hands out and I'll just start spinning in a circle, creating like a spiral crack, like ice just blowing off what does it say? It doesn't say how big the trench is, but just like a giant cracks spiraling all around, like ice flying through the air.
Cool. All right. So, so this is control water, right? That you're casting. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I was just looking at shape water to get an idea of what that looks like. So this is, oh yeah, 4th level spell. So you're doing some pretty serious, and you're using the part water effect, right? Like, so you're like splitting and creating nice. Okay. As you are spinning, these fissures start breaking into this ice around you, and shards of it are flying out, just as you were describing. And with it, you can see kind of the walls start to shift and buckle, as the integrity of them is diminished as you make a cut over and over and over, deeper and deeper into it, loosening up this ice. Chunks start falling to the ground and shattering around you. I think with the noise and maybe getting hit with a couple cold pieces of ice, like Dumple kind of like comes to in the middle of you casting this spell in the surrounding area, and he just starts like whimpering. You see a portion of one of the walls just like calve off and fall to the ground and shatter, and behind it you can now see the surface of this dragon. You kind of caught maybe like hindquarters, so you can see where a pair of legs, essentially still encased in ice, but now partially exposed along the length of this like serpentine body. And the chunks from the ceiling start falling down around you. This is a time for you to get to safety. Like, you've done enough damage to this now, it's basically going to collapse on its under its own weight. So I'm going to have you make a dexterity save to as you finish casting this spell. And can you do this as a it's a 10-minute thing, so you can so you're like breaking it down. Now you have to get to the rope trick, and it can continue. You can kind of continue to shatter this ice as you make it over there. So
if I stay in the room, will it fall on me, or is there a chance that the dragon's going to come out?
Can you control the water to create a safe space?
Maybe. You can redirect flow, so but
so
I think you can only choose one at a time.
So I would say that you can, because I think you can change the effect each turn, if I remember correctly. So like you can, so right now you're like parting the water, but you could at this point, like you're switching over to redirecting. So you're making sure that these shards of ice kind of fall around you. There's a small like dome of your magic kind of protecting you. But you also know that this dragon is going to come out, whether it wakes up or not, it's coming out of this wall, and you don't have the magic to control dragon. You just control water. So this thing, like
it'll slump onto me.
Right. It's possible. You don't exactly know. And with everything happening around you, like you don't have a good view on whether or not this dragon is waking up, or if like it's going to wake up because it fell out of the wall, and you can't stop that from happening. Like you can stop the ice, but so what would you like to do? I guess.
I'll risk it. I got a plan. I'm gonna go with it. So I'll grab Dumple so he can't crawl away, and I'll create the bubble, the redirect flow, little force shield around us. And I'll yell to Dumple, "Don't you move! Don't you go anywhere!"
And he's screaming with that melt in his mouth. So you grab a hold of him, and you have your hand up, kind of redirecting all of the shattering ice. And it's just like splashing down around you at this point, and even your your control of that water is creating like piles of ice around you. Like it's building up kind of, around you as it's collapsing. And I want to go to everyone else at this point. Have you climbed into the rope trick? Like you've had enough time to do so, but I'm just asking whether or not that is what you've done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Everyone's nodding. So we don't want anything to do with this.
We can't stick our heads out of the rope trick. Like, what the heck?
I mean, you certainly can, but you don't have control over the water. Yeah. So you're going to get conked on the head. So everybody's in the rope trick at this point. Okay.
It is a 3x5 foot window centered on the rope. So it's just this window, like it's a pretty good size window. We can all look out.
It's not bad. 3x5, yeah.
Yep.
Great window.
Okay. And
yeah, just some remodeling.
Yep. So Koli, are you pulling Dumple towards the rope trick, or are you just holding him close and like letting things collapse around you?
I'm just holding him close to me.
Got it. All right. So you see chunks of ice start falling, larger pieces, and the sound is incredibly loud. Like you're basically deafened by the cracking and shattering of all this ice around you. And I'm going to have you make another dexterity save as a length of this dragon kind of just like flops out of where it was encased in the ice and like slams into the ground near you.
Dirty 20.
Nice. Okay. So you're able to kind of see that, shift your weight and move, like redirect the flow of the ice to kind of shield you a bit. And the dragon body kind of like hits the ground, bounces, and then you see it kind of like squirm a little bit. And then from above you, you see a flash of blue light that kind of, let's see, I'm trying to think of like how this would, I guess a flash of blue light at where you know the head is, and then it would travel along the length of this dragon. So you see this flash, almost like lightning, kind of pass around the perimeter of this cavern, go out of sight, and then you see it kind of reflected through the ice walls that are still kind of between you and the remainder, like the tail end of this dragon, filling this space with this bright blue-white light. And the dragon, the entire thing kind of like moves, shifts, and an explosion of ice around you. You're barely able to redirect all of it away from yourself. And this massive white dragon drops to the ground, squirms, flips, kind of like, you know how like snakes kind of like wrap into themselves. And coil. So it does this kind of around you, and you're able to barely hold on using the ice as protection. And it's, I think at this point, it is going to roar, and just cold air fills the space around you. Everybody in the rope trick, you definitely hear that. You don't see anything though, because this cavern has now collapsed all around you, and the window is filled with shards of ice, and the Koli is nowhere to be seen. And this you can hear the roar of a dragon, and Koli, you see this dragon kind of quickly flip around and jump up into the air and take off. And now you're under essentially like tons of ice as the dragon pulls away from you, leaving behind it just kind of all that ice falling into place. And then it's quiet. Like the crunching of the ice around you, if you shift and move, is all that you can hear. And like you within this small little bubble of ice is very echoey and hollow. What do you do?
I look down at Dumple and I say, well, it didn't go like I thought it was going to go.
stay around for a chat.
So I'm basically just in like an igloo.
No door.
How long does control water last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yep. We'll say you have 9 minutes left.
I guess I'll just I'll get down kind of on my hands and knees and try and make a little tunnel to where I think I remember the rope trick being.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll survival.
Come on, baby.
17.
Okay. You have a pretty good idea of which direction it is. So you start, shifting the ice away from you, carefully kind of building this tunnel. Are you dragging Dumple with you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I had very specifically not pulled the rope in yet.
Okay.
So the rope is still hanging down. It's encased in thing, but he could find the rope if he doesn't find the exact spot of the rope trick.
Right. Let's see here. So one thing that you're noticing, Koli, is that a lot of the ice that you are now moving is not clear of impurities. And as you're kind of shifting it out of the way, you're realizing that what you're walking on is like frozen gold in place. And the ice around you is filled with coins. And so you can't see as well as you used to be able to, because it's just like a clutter of debris essentially around you, like even more than just the ice. So go ahead and roll insight.
Okay.
Oh boy.
13.
You're not entirely sure that you're at the same level as you were. It's possible that you have lost altitude. If you are now like walking on this treasure that was quite deep beneath the surface of the ice that you were walking on before.
I think I'm going to start going up at an angle and try and get above all this ice just to see where I am.
Okay. All right.
Flux will be over there trying to melt all that. Any cool treasure?
Oh yeah.
So you start kind of shifting, moving the ice around you. I am going to have you make let's see here. Go ahead and make a dexterity save, but do it with advantage because you do have like control over this terrain.
15.
Okay, excellent. So you're able to make your way through and upwards, dragging Dumple as ice kind of like behind you just starts falling in and caving in. Like anything that you're not controlling in that moment is basically just collapsing over and over and over again. And you are able to, you believe, make it to roughly where the rope trick is. Go ahead and roll investigation as you look for the rope.
3.
Okay. You don't see it. You're not sure if you're in the right place. You're not sure if Ward pulled it in, which is something that he does often do. But you don't see it anywhere. And we're going to say that you've got half the time of this spell remaining.
What if Flux reaches out or just like palm to the surface of the rope trick to melt some amount of?
Just can't cast.
It's a dimension. It's not an actual space.
So it's.
I would be putting my hand out of the rope trick until it hits snow or ice and then melting.
Like through the window.
I see what you're saying.
Can I do that?
Be down through the window.
Or down through the window. Yeah, sure.
Right.
Wherever it is.
Let me read the spell. So I know that the spell is very specific about like attacks and spells can't cross through the entrance into or out of the extra dimensional space.
All right. Yeah.
So those inside can see out, but that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Just can't interact.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll call out to him and see if anybody hears me.
Okay. Everybody else, go ahead and roll perception with disadvantage because he's yelling through an avalanche.
1.
12.
19.
Jeez. 4.
And Nova.
Delyaries has her fingers in her ears.
5.
Okay. So Ward, you hear very faintly the sound of Koli shouting.
Oh shit. I hear him. I hear Koli. Can any of you, do I have any sense of direction or anything like that? Or is there anything?
He's outside of the rope trick.
Yeah. Oh, he's outside. So I will
In that direction.
like as in you can only hear sound from one direction, so you know that
Yeah.
he's somewhere out there. But like that's it.
I'll look at Flux.
We can yell, right? We can yell back.
You can, yes.
I guess I'll start
I think we determined that sound will pass in and out as well. Yep.
So I'll start yelling, Koli! Koli!
Oh, I thought it was I thought when I was doing that before, I was sticking my head out and talking to Koli when he was there.
I thought that's why we were worried about Dumple making noise.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
were. The other thing is, like, while you were inside, you were able to hear what was going on outside.
That's
like,
true. That's right.
Dumple's
That's right.
conversation.
Okay, yeah,
So yeah, we basically like it doesn't
start hollering.
explicitly say that, but I feel like sound would.
I tell
travel,
everybody.
yeah.
I say look at everybody. Chiron, know everybody. He's out there. Start yelling. See if we can get him to hear us. He's right near us. So we start yelling. Or I do. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will have anybody that is yelling for Koli go to make a Constitution save.
God damn it. Friggin' dice.
I'm using my
6.
coin.
8.
We're rolled worse.
16.
All right. So Delyaries, again calling out to Koli and not Nova, is in her tried and tested Koli calling voice, is able to pierce the dense avalanche of ice around you. And Koli, I'm going to have you roll a perception check with this is going to be with disadvantage.
12.
Okay. Very, very, very faintly, you can hear Delyaries shouting to you. You cannot tell which direction. You can't tell how far she is, but you can hear the voice.
I still don't know if I'm on the same level as it as
Right.
the rope trick.
Mhm.
I guess I'll just keep going up.
Okay. All right. So Delyaries, you keep on shouting. You're able to keep up that shout with that Constitution save, continuously guiding Koli. Koli, because that shouting is constant, you can shift direction and notice if it gets quieter, if it gets louder. It's very like hot or cold type situation.
Marco Polo.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And you are able to. I'm going to have you make a. There's going to be one more save, and this is going to be determining whether or not you can make it there by the time your spell runs out.
Ooh.
So this will be at advantage because, again, you have control over, like a portion of the terrain that you're traveling. But it is still a lot of effort. I think for you, this is going to be a Constitution save. Because I think the spell is a concentration.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Yep. So we're not going to say that, like, if you fail this, the spell isn't going to fail prematurely. It's just that you couldn't fight through this mess quickly enough. And then we'll go from there.
I got 16.
16. Awesome. Okay. So you are able to, I'm imagining that you get to, you're hearing the voice and it's still very muffled, but it's getting louder. You can feel the spell start to fade, and you're like holding with one hand. At one point, you're just like pulling Dumple. You're putting him there, and then you're clawing with the other hand, manipulating it with manipulating both with your magic and with your body, your physical body, as quickly as you can. And as the magic fades and the ice starts to fall, you reach out and you can feel the rope. and you grab it, and just in time you reach behind and you grab Dumple. You have the rope, and then there's kind of a collapse of ice that slides over you, and then it lays solid. And you're basically, you have the rope, so you're at least within 6 feet of where you need to be. You have Dumple in the other hand. He is muffled and screaming still. Both of you are being like smothered and compressed by the ice. You're also noticing that a lot of this is not chunks of ice, but snow. So it's possible that this caused a larger avalanche from above as well. What do you do?
I'll start yanking on the rope.
Okay. So everybody inside the rope trick, you see that the rope is being pulled on. And Koli, like, I imagine you hear him shout as he's there, and his magic finally fades. He's right there. It's muffled, but you know he's close by. What do you do?
Can we pull him up?
Yeah, my instinct would just I'm always pulling that rope in. So, and I look at Chiron as the big beefy dude in the middle here. And
We pull him in. Can he cast shape water again though, from inside it?
We better hope so. Well, we can dig out and he can start casting it again. If he's made it in, there's presumably a hole, a little bit of space there. All he has to be able to do is stick his.
I'm ready to pull.
His hand. There's a window.
Okay. Strength check from Chiron, or athletics check from Chiron, athletics check for Koli to hold on.
15.
I'm going to say for Koli, if you're trying to drag Dumple with you, it's going to be at disadvantage.
Lay down.
I had said I was pulling, so does that can I help Chiron with that?
Yes, Chiron can roll with advantage. Yeah.
16 from me.
Okay. And did you leave Dumple or did you pull him with?
I pulled him with.
Okay. All right.
Chiron, you rolled with advantage?
Yeah, so it was originally 15. with advantage, 17.
Nice. Okay. A few moments of kind of reeling this rope in. You finally see Koli's hand, like grasping it. Now you can, kind of grab his arm. You pull him in, and then to your utter amazement, you see his other arm outstretched behind him, and then like almost with a pop, like Dumple comes out of the ice and falls to the floor of the interdimensional space with you, and he's still like losing his mind, screaming until he like yeah. Go
Imagine
ahead.
everybody says, "Oh."
By the way, I just want to say it was appropriate that Ward gave you a +2 basically to your strength, because like I feel like you were doing all the work, and then I was just like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you." That's because I'm not very strong.
But as he's pulled clear, Dumple like stops and kind of looks around. He's still super panicked, but he stops screaming, realizing that maybe he's safe.
I'll look at Dumple and I'll tap him on the forehead. I say, "I told you to stay close to me, Dumple. You see who wants to keep you alive." And I'll point just in some random direction, and who wants you dead.
Go and make a charisma save. I want to see if you subconsciously point at Delyaries and Flux.
21.
21. Okay, so you do well to like randomly just point over in their general direction, but you don't single out anybody with that. So you've got another 50 minutes within this rope trick to stay safe.
Hey, we're great.
Yeah.
Koli kind of relays what he saw and what happened. So now all of you are kind of aware of that. So is there anything that you're doing until the rope trick spell ends?
Well, the first thing I would do is, once he said that, is because I had the dragon marked, do I have any sort of sense of where it might be? I know that it doesn't, whatever. It's supposed to give me advantage, but I almost feel like it would just be a straight roll, because it's not as if I have anything outside of white noise outside of my view. But
that's
it's
what I was
marked.
going to ask too. Just like, did Koli, was he even able to see in which direction it flew off to?
No.
No.
Once all the ice started coming down, the dragon just took off, and then I started crawling.
Although it says I have advantage on survival checks, and I guess that's the same type of thing. It's just like sort of like perception is perception, but survival would be like based on whatever, right? I guess that's
Trying to track prey.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. I'll accept anything.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and make. Yeah, perception would be useless.
Yeah.
In this situation, but go ahead and make a survival check. I think there's some information that you could glean.
Okay. That would be a 24.
Okay. With that survival check, you would know that the dragon was intentionally encased in that ice.
Okay.
Either because it was sleeping or hibernating, or maybe for protection. It was coiled up around its hoard, which because of Flux's investigation and a few coins that he pulled out, was primarily dwarven, dwarven provenance. You know that the forge in that hanging pillar is of dwarven construction. So with all of that, you would know that this dragon most likely will return to its treasure. I think that's all you'd be able to tell. And this would be more, but I guess like a combination of your knowledge of danger out in the wild and then of your situation. But
So
as far as like where it might have gone or how you can track it, you
Yeah.
do not have any idea because you don't even know what's like
Right.
what kind of happened. Yeah, outside.
So, but I'm still attached to it. It's just. So I'll just.
You
say,
know
like,
it is alive and well.
Okay. I'll just say, it's around. I don't know how far it went, but it's probably coming back. So whatever we're doing, I imagine we don't want to be here if it comes back, if and when. But I'd imagine with that, I would have. Did I get any sense of the You said that about the snow, so like, given the nature of the mountain and all that, is there anything that I could have gleaned in terms of like what that? I probably have no clue. That's perception is useless. You said in here. Okay, so let's.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do? We're in a rope tomb.
Let's climb out of it. I mean, I don't think there's any benefit for us being in here. Nobody's coming in for us at this point. They're waiting outside of the cave. And that dragon, I guess the dragon doesn't know where we're at. That's the only thing.
That cave doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, even the cave where the forge is, though?
You have no idea, but the cave that you were in is no longer a cave.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So how big is the rope, like the interior space of the rope trick?
It's enough to fill 8 medium creatures. So just we're filling it up.
We're filling it up, aren't we? Shit.
Yep.
So I was thinking we got to displace the snow somehow. We could bring some in to tunnel out.
Put it in the bag of holding.
Ooh, there we go.
I used the bag of holding.
Keep it going for
All right.
be a piece of gold and we'll like chip away at it and keep that. Put the rest in.
Get out in a couple weeks.
I
We
know.
melt the water and we drink it.
Yeah.
Is any of it yellow?
Does anybody need a short rest while we're here?
I think we got to get out.
It only lasts an hour, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
got 50 minutes
Yeah.
left, he said. So I think the
We
best
gotta
bet is
get
see if anything happened to them idiots outside, and maybe we're the idiots because we lost any hope of finding any treasure in here, and we lost maybe our lives.
Remember those?
Yeah, maybe
Treasure was
while
first.
they were hanging out down there, they also got covered in
We don't know.
snow from the
That's what I'm
mountain.
hoping.
Or maybe they could have heard the commotion. I mean, it was a dragon the size, like an enormous dragon that just broke out. So,
yeah, or they could think we're dead because they don't have if the cards aren't working like they're supposed to, which we hope, and they know that, and they see that collapse. Maybe
or
they
have heard at least the collapse, and then
Yeah.
maybe they thought there was some kind of just a regular cave collapse. They don't even know. It's
So let's hope. Let's just hope. We don't have a choice though. We do have to get moving. So it's really all the rest of us can do is kind of dig behind Flux and Koli. If Koli can cast another shit like that, and Flux can be firing fireball shit to melt stuff. I mean, I don't know what other option we have unless Nova has something cool. All I got is arrows in my hands.
So is like if we climb out of the rope trick, is the terrain so bad that we basically have to scale it? Is that
We're
It's just-
underground, right?
we're
By
underground.
some amount.
Yeah, we're basically encapsulated in snow. We'll have to. I can do control water again,
Yeah.
and we
Let's
can tunnel out.
Let's get Koli out, displace the amount of snow to get Koli out there, and she can cast that, and we can just go up
Okay.
with him.
And anybody on the way out, just look for some cool treasure.
Oh, trust me.
I'm sure it'll be easy. Just that'll be cream rises to the top, right? I think cool like gear and gold that just floats on
Yeah,
snow.
that's
right?
true. Yeah.
Imagine we're all tunneling out one way, and Flux is going further down in the other way.
like I'll be at the back, guys.
Okay, so you kind of empty out a small little hollow in all of this ice and snow, enough for Koli to kind of climb out and cast control water again. And he starts. What's the range on that?
300 feet.
Okay,
Oh shit.
nice.
That's a nasty little spell. Or a cool little spell.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean
can I
it's
just-
it's
can I
level
just-
4, so it's
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
it's not nothing.
Hmm.
Do you say like we shall pass or whatever it is? We shall pass.
Part water. I'm trying to think. Should we try and tunnel through it, or
Right. I'm kind of looking at which one. I think part water is going to be the closest. And we're getting creative with what this spell can do. Like,
Yeah,
I know that it's
well,
not technically ice, but it's really supposed to be liquid. But I think it I'm not. I think it works. This is fine. I like how we're using it right now.
we could get Flux out front to melt it, and then I can just keep
Melt
the
it
water
first.
away from us.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna, and this would be a stretch, but I was thinking we could use redirect flow and use it as an elevator. Since it's gravity's pulling it, it's flowing down. We could-
Oh, okay.
But that'd be a stretch.
Some Minecraft stuff there.
Yeah.
I think probably just tunneling through would be the easiest way again.
Yeah, because so right now I'm not going to say that there's any flow. Like it's solid at this point. So you could kind of like in the way that you were redirecting flow as it was falling, it was more to just like not hit you.
Right. No, I know.
Yeah, but I think the part water would do the job. Again, you're going to give you 10 minutes to travel. You don't know how long it's going to take you to get out. You're not entirely sure which direction you need to head. But I think the part water would be fine, and everybody, as long as they stuck together, would be fine because it would kind of collapse in on itself once you pass through. So
I think I'll just start going straight up.
okay, all right. Go ahead, and you said the range was like 100 feet.
300.
300 feet. Nice. Okay. You part water, and the snow and ice just kind of like separates, and you see the sky above you. You can see that you are probably close to 80 feet below the surface of this avalanche, like the top of it.
Oh shit.
So we should definitely be able to make it there in a couple rounds before the spell ends anyway.
Yeah, so you've got 10 minutes. It's not going to be easy because this whole thing is like jagged ice and snow. So it's not like you have a whole lot of purchase and nothing is really stable. Like you're just kind of like holding it apart. You're not necessarily solidifying a tunnel to be able to climb out. So yeah, how
it's
how
300
would you like
feet
to do
though.
it?
Can you angle it down though so we can walk out?
Oh, right. Yeah, you could kind of like move it so you create a ramp more than yeah. I
that
think
works.
so let's see, 300 feet would be so it would take you I'm going to say that you could probably do it in a couple minutes to climb out of there on a good ramp if you're moving, regular speed for 10 rounds or whatever, 30
just
feet.
walk out
30 feet per round.
In Kholdim.
Yeah. So you part water, and the snow and ice kind of folds out of the way, creating this trench, and you're able to carefully walk out. One of you's dragging Dumple behind you, and as you get to the surface, you look around, and basically this entire valley is now like filled with snow from the surrounding peaks.
Oh shit.
Like it was basically this massive avalanche. Like you just displaced like hundreds of tons of ice, like all of a sudden.
So we also buried that forge. Like is that right?
Is the forge buried?
The forge is not buried, but there is snow and ice chunks like along the edge of it. Like it's basically kind of filled in a portion of that cliff. You don't see anything where the Brotherhood was. You don't see the dragon. It's just like a smooth, surface of snow and big chunks of ice lying on top of it. The aftermath of this avalanche that you caused. And so the forge is still there, though it does look like it took some damage, like chunks of ice and whatnot had hit it. You can see that there are some pieces of stone that are missing. It's certainly like cockeyed a little bit, where maybe some snow and ice had trapped at the bottom and pitched it at an angle. So it's still hanging there, but if that shifts, most likely it's going to drop, because you know that that pillar was set on a small base and basically supported with the two chains. With that base, if it shifted off of it, then it'll just kind of like drop and slam into the side of that cliff face. You don't know if the chains are going to hold the full weight of that pillar or not. So that's kind of the situation that the forge is in. And you can see the clear rock faces of the mountains here in 3 and 4, those sets of peaks. I will have all of you roll a perception check as you get to the surface.
When you don't see a dragon around, you expect to see a dragon.
18.
12.
4.
11.
Dirty
17.
20.
Nice. Okay, so anybody with a 12 or above, you see a large archway cut into one of the peaks of that section 3 of the mountain range. It looks like an old stone staircase was carved out of the side of that mountain as well. It is certainly reminiscent of the gates of Kholdim, though it had been covered in ice. You can see that chunks of the rock and stonework had been broken away. Pieces of ice are still kind of lodged in the crevices of this entrance. And everyone with a 15 or higher can see that there's a couple discolored portions of the snow. Some of them that are kind of like a pinkish red color, You see a few dark shapes of perhaps like black leather armor crushed beneath pieces of snow and ice, but no sign of the dragon. I think you would also see. Did anybody roll 20 or above?
Yeah, I rolled a 20.
Okay. Koli, you're going to see just over the cliff edge in that gap, which is smaller now between the cliff edge and that forge pillar, is what looks like a humanoid figure frozen in ice, like shards of ice kind of blasted over it, as if perhaps an ice dragon had used its ice breath to encase this figure within a tomb of frozen water.
Just regular human size, not like a statue or anything.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
It certainly looks like it's wearing the armor of the Brotherhood of Nard within that ice.
Oh, that is so
Freaking
sweet.
great. Yeah.
So I'll dust the snow off, and I'll turn to Flux and say, should we try and get your buddy out of there now, or what do you want to do?
Well, yeah. How far away is that now?
It's
Not
still
too far, I guess. Huh?
Yep, same distance. You're just moving across unstable terrain. So anywhere that you're moving, essentially, you've got a few more minutes of the control water going. So actually, I guess with control water, it only took you a couple minutes. You're looking around. If Koli, if you want to kind of shift that over to that direction, you can stabilize that portion of the avalanche. And you can make it to the edge of the cliff safely. I think the spell. I think that falls within how we've been using it so far. So
now, if we break free this fire elemental, do we make enemies with entire town beneath the mountain? Do you suppose?
Assuming there's any left.
It's true. Yeah, it looked pretty iced over. All right. Well,
maybe your friend down there knows.
Yeah, he didn't seem to want to cough up too much information last time, but he was pissed off enough to think that maybe he's been there a little too long. All right, let's go get him.
Wow. We're all like, it's really hot down there, dude. Yeah.
What's this dispel magic? Is that a distance thing? Would Nova be able to cast that from, afar?
120 feet.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Now I don't know if it's going to do the trick, but I think it's probably our best bet right now. All right, should we go try it?
Yeah, see if you can get confirmation it's not going to attack us or something. Or information, or maybe tell them
we set it free and then it just tries to kill us.
So before you head back over there, Flux, I'll say, you know better than us, but remember who you are. So I don't know if it'll help or hurt, but you can be the judge of that.
I will talk to him.
Okay, so you still have to make it off of that cliff over the chains to that pillar. So
Spider Clown's probably gone now.
How far is it?
Or
yeah, because how long did you stay in the rope trick?
Actually, you guys didn't spend very much time in the rope trick.
We were in there for. You said we had 50 minutes left, and we almost immediately sort of.
Yeah, so
we gotta get out of here, guys.
There might have been like
a few more minutes with Spider Clown.
I would say you probably got 15 or 20 minutes left.
All right.
Yeah, between like moving around and all of that happened pretty quickly. There were just a few minutes of you kind of negotiating what to do within the cave, but yeah, you still got a little bit of it, I'd say.
To that end,
how far is it from like the edge of where there is?
Yeah, good question.
To getting onto the platform.
Right. So I don't remember. I think it was like 30 or 40 feet, maybe. if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Step is 30 feet.
Oh,
And
you know
Misty
what?
Step into the abyss. And
I
fall
think
to my
I
death.
think no, I think if you're gonna use Misty Step, we'll say it's 30 feet. I think that's I'm not gonna get like maybe you'll step onto the first chain link, right, to get that little bit of distance you need to get out there. But if you're gonna use the spell to do it, I'm not gonna like, oh, you're 2 feet short and you're gonna fall to your death. You know, like
Would this help at all? Is Delyaries has like in her backpack, she just has those, I don't know how you say it, pitons or pitons.
Mhm.
And then she has 50 feet of rope. So she can like use that, like anchor that in with her hammer into like just create
I'm
sort of this
fine.
like rope area where
Well,
Where-
I'd like to get over there too. So if she has a situation like that to help.
yeah. So maybe I could do that. Like kind of climb and find location where I can hammer in the piton into the
Mhm.
rock, and then put the rope through, and then go to another area and hammer another one in.
Okay, so just as like a safety anchor.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. If she uses Misty Step though, she's going to like dematerialize in the rope. Like if you say you had it tied around her waist, it would just fall to the ground because she would like for that moment doesn't exist on the material plane until she reappears. So, but Flux with Spider Climb could take it over with him, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe he could anchor it on the other side, so at least you'd have like a rope to
Yeah.
follow over. I think that's that's totally doable. You know what? Because we do have a time limit on Flux's spell, I'm going to have you make an athletics check to anchor it properly.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be you, Delyaries. Anybody can do it, but it needs to happen quickly, so that way he benefits from that spell. So.
Flux, did you just roll?
Yeah, am I supposed to roll? I got a 22 if so.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Athletics.
Yep. We're going with that one.
I was
Cool.
like, I hope we didn't roll another 8.
Yeah. So Flux, you quickly like slam home a couple of these anchors, tying off a rope, and then you just calmly walk across while your spell is still active, pulling the rope with you. You get to the other side, you pound in another couple anchors. So now it might be a little weird to make their way across the chain, but there is now a rope to hold on to, for balance. And if they do fall, like they can at least pull themselves back across on that. So
I'm definitely following across because I'm the only one that speaks primordial. I want to hear if he's about to get fucked with so I can warn the people up top. So I don't want to necessarily go in. I just want to get close enough so that I can hear anything that's like obviously hostile from the elemental, if that makes sense. I know Flux would probably yell out, but I just want to be sort of like to kind of like be the ears for the people up top.
Got it. Okay.
You guys just told me I have comprehend languages.
Well,
So you could come too.
well, we'll both be over there.
All right. So Flux, you make it over without any issue with your spider climb. Nova, you just misty step across and appear next to him. Ward, I'm going to have you make a go ahead and make a acrobatics check.
11.
Okay. You rely very heavily on the rope.
Oh yeah.
Nothing about this process is graceful. It is quite awkward for everybody involved. You know that you look awkward, and everybody watching you just is embarrassed for you. But you make it to the other side safely. Flux, you've got a few more minutes left of spider climb.
Okay. Great. Well, I climb down into the forge.
Okay.
Then.
As you kind of peek over, a couple blasts, blasts of firebolt kind of fly by you, and
the hell is his name?
Scald.
Scald. Yeah.
I like to think that you called him Kelt.
Scald. Scald. I've come back for you. Cool down. down there. I bring help. I'd like to help you. My name is Flux. I am of the royal family of the Fire Plane, and I think you could be of assistance to us. I'd like you to allow my friend here to help you dispel the magic of your binds.
And he, you see Scald kind of like swirl around the bottom of this like chimney, and you just hear hissing, and then you see it form into like a kind of a more compact figure, again exposing the chain a bit more, and then you just hear it kind of echo out, "Release me, Lord Flux, and I shall offer my service to you."
I'm obviously listening for intent. I'm assuming Flux is, I mean, he's doing his own thing, but I'm
Ward, go ahead and roll insight.
Oh. Rolled a 19 plus 6, so 25.
This thing just wants to get free. It will say anything.
I will say in what other languages do you speak? I'll say in Orc, hoping that it doesn't speak Orc. I'll say well, unless you obviously also glean that, I'll say
Flux is focused on other things. The only reason I'm giving you kind of that, because you specifically are like listening for intent and like kind of watching Flux's back with this. Okay. So that's why, yeah. So Flux he's working on the rescue portion. You're covering him essentially.
Yeah. I'll just holler to Flux, watch yourself. He wants freedom. Yeah, get it in writing for sure. And actually, if I hear that, I'll let Flux handle it. I mean, I don't have any. I mean, I have okay persuasion, but he's presented himself as a royal family. I'm not going to try to. Yeah, cool.
So what did you come over here for? Just to
do what I just did.
Oh, I thought you said you weren't going to do that, and you were just going to let him do it.
No. I warned Flux, but I was going to say maybe something to the elemental, but no, I think, the way it's set up.
Got it.
Yes.
I thought you were reneging on everything and just like, Flux got it handled.
No, I definitely
good luck, buddy.
I just emphasize that it desperately wants freedom, and with the idea that you understand that it would say anything.
So what do we want from this guy anyway? I don't know if he's gonna, fight alongside us. I don't think so, but we should at least get some information, maybe do that first. So I'm thinking
ask him what he knows about Frosthall or the dragon or anything like that, and then we'll set him free.
Exactly. So Scald. What do you know?
That's by the way, if you actually say like, that's such a dismissive way to be like, what's your name again? Scald? Scallion?
What is it? Yeah.
One more time. Tell me one more time.
I'm sorry. I just,
Dumple?
Royal family, meet a lot of people. Dumple.
All right. So Scald. What is this? What is this town? Tell me about Frosthall.
I know nothing. I have been trapped here for quite some time. I do not know.
How long?
I do not know. Many suns, many nights, many storms, many quiet times. Release me, please.
What do you know about the white dragon in the mountains?
I know nothing of this dragon. I know this and it gestures at the very compact 4-walled chimney that you're looking down into. Like, yeah.
I think he's gone a little crazy.
Yeah, maybe
a little bit stir crazy. Skull, thank you. I wish nothing but to free you from this enslavement and help you move on. All we ask is information about where we are and the resources around us, as we are but adventurers in these mountains and new to this land.
I am but a slave to this forge. I know nothing of the outside. Release me if you will. Otherwise, leave me in peace. Perhaps this forge will fall soon.
Yes, Scald. My friend above has magic, very powerful magic that cannot fail. She will be of great assistance, but I must get out of the way now. I scurry up while I still have spider climb.
Okay.
Thank you, Scald.
Thanks for nothing, dude.
Do we know what he does in there? I mean, what does he do? What's his job? Like, what does he do?
He's hot.
Yeah.
He powers the forge. Yeah, just like so in Kholdim, they had a very powerful elemental that kept the forges hot there as well. Now they had a consensual agreement. It was a contract that the dwarves of Kholdim had set up with the fire elemental, a very, like, in writing, presumably at least an agreement of service. So this elemental clearly was not given that same benefit. Ward and Nova, as Flux kind of like steps out of the way, you feel this pillar shift under the weight of everything kind of moving, and you know that it is not as stable as it was before because of the avalanche damage done. So you have to be very careful at this point. Any large, heavy shifts of weight could send this thing toppling and crashing down the cliffs below.
Oh shit. I look at Nova. You felt that?
Yes, we need to get off of here.
And so yeah, I'll say to Flux, we need to move. Tell your friend if he's free. The only price that we tell him that
maybe I think you guys should both go across.
Okay.
Because once if he is freed, he's gonna start moving shit around.
Yeah, he's gonna go
to get out.
Buck wild.
So both of you start making your way across.
Yeah, I'll start going across.
Let's tie a rope around your waist. We can, Nova.
No, I'm just going to use my radiant soul ability.
She's
and
all
just
set.
fly across.
She can fly.
Okay,
she's got a fly speed, temporary one.
Okay.
But yeah,
right. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
It only
just
lasts
try
for like
to
a minute,
rope
but that's more than enough time to fly back over there.
Yep.
Jesus,
That was my plan. That's why I was like, I'll be okay.
All right. Yeah. All right. That sounds good. I'll
rope.
make haste then.
Yeah. Okay. So she will go over to the hole, I guess.
Okay.
And peek down inside.
Okay. You see a fire elemental far below you down this this chimney at the bottom, and you can make out a chain that it seems to be bound to.
Okay. She'll give him a wave and then cast dispel magic.
Hey. Okay. Are you trying to cast it at a higher level?
I don't.
Are you trying to? So you know that binding an elemental is a pretty powerful spell. Something pulling like a planar binding, essentially. So you're welcome to roll perhaps an Arcana check to see if you can recall how powerful that spell might be to give you a better idea of what it might take to break.
Well, don't I cast everything at my highest level anyway? As a warlock?
Oh, yes. As a warlock, you do. You're right. So what level do you cast at?
5th.
Okay.
So, well, that's kind of our only option because I can't, this isn't Grimdark. I can't just do whatever I want.
Okay, so you cast it at 5th level. I will have you roll a spell check. So this is using your spell casting ability to the bonus. So that way it will break because the spell is stronger than 5th level.
Okay. So what number am I using to add to?
So you're like your spell attack bonus, essentially.
Okay. That's a natural 20 plus
Awesome.
9.
Awesome. So you what does this look like when it's going to break instantly with that roll? So what does it look like when you cast this spell?
So I think it's gonna be like a radiant light that comes from her hands. Also, because it rolled a natural 20, she gets her little glow. And it like pierces into the chain and then it kind of just like shatters along the chain.
Cool.
And breaks it.
As soon as that happens, this elemental flies upward. I mean, just with an immense speed. You're barely able to move out of the way, and you're actually going to catch a little bit of fire damage off of it because you're so close to fire damage.
Did he burn off my eyebrows?
Yes, he's definitely singed your eyebrows. And it takes off.
Now I'm going to look crazy.
Takes off into the sky and disappears like in a matter of moments. You can, as that chain continues to crumble, you see it break from the binding that held that elemental, all the links shattering along the way until it reaches the floor of this pillar. And then you can see that same light start to radiate in all directions as this pillar starts to shatter as well. And pieces of it from the bottom start dropping off, and you can feel the pillar kind of drop out from underneath you. What do you do?
I cast Radiant Soul, or I activate Radiant
You just activate,
Soul.
okay. So as you're glowing, this pillar kind of drops out from beneath you. It swings towards it's still held in place by the chains, but you stay hanging in the air, that glow increasing, and then these celestial wings kind of unfolding from your back to hold you aloft. The pillar drops, swings, slams against the cliff face, knocking some more snow and ice from it. You see one of the chain links break, and it shifts again, swings to the other, and mid swing, the second chain breaks, and then it just drops, tumbles off of the cliff face, bouncing along debris until falling out of sight beneath the still billowing cloud of snow from the avalanche below. And you casually drift over to that cliff face with your wings, looking cool as shit. Landing next to everybody, and I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight. As
so
that was cool, guys.
What a visual! What a visual!
That was cool. That was
caused
epic.
an avalanche, killed a bunch
That
of
was crazy.
guys, uncovered a city.
Yeah.
Move
Yeah,
the
but also-
dragon.
Also destroyed any chance of like fire in the forges up in there. It seems like
Yeah.
maybe.
And I'm just thinking about the other campaign and how that was used in that campaign.
Did we ever get the name of this city?
Frost.
Frost Hall.
Frost Hall. Mhm.
But I think that it makes sense that given the way things have gone, even though obviously there's implications, doesn't
Yeah.
take a rocket scientist. It's like, I don't know what you guys were doing in your campaign, but we were never going to leave an enslaved being in there. Maybe there was a way to convince it to stay or something, but it didn't seem like it.
We never climbed down in there.
Yeah, we didn't climb inside.
Yeah.
Oh, you never went in.
There was
Oh,
never anyone who spoke primordial or
Yeah.
was like a fire ganassi
to be
or
able to
anything like that.
withstand.
Yeah. So none of them even had like really relationships to build upon. So
Yeah.
We looked at the forge, fought the dragon for a few minutes, and then ran away.
and then you went back later and
Mhm.
forged a magical item.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right.
One of the dwarves in the party went back and went through a trial to forge a powerful artifact, which came in quite handy later on.
It sure did. It sure did. And that's what I was thinking about. I was like,
Well-
well, we took that opportunity away from Flint
Yeah.
to ever do in the future.
Yeah.
We might go down, but we'll go down on the right side of history at least.
Yeah.
I
So
look over at Dumple and say, "You're still on thin ice, buddy."
and then behind the belt, he goes, "The knife, got it?"
I'd knock him
No.
out.
You knocked him out again.
I wasn't trying to be funny, guys.
Oh man, awesome. Yeah, I honestly, when you guys were talking about releasing that dragon, and like I did not know how that was going to go. I was like, so
yeah.
how are you going to do this? Like,
Yep.
Metagame wise, was
It's pretty
there a
clear
way
that
to-
none of us knew.
yeah.
No.
Was there
yeah,
a way to wake the
totally.
dragon up without collapsing the place like that? Like, how was there? I mean, you guys did it, right?
It wasn't.
It was already awake.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just chilling, hanging out,
Mhm.
waiting for
Mhm.
some guys to come inside.
Just doing
We were
regular
those
dragons.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Um,
normal white dragon thing to like burrow itself into some ice and just chill for a long period of time.
So the
Get it.
one thing that would the one thing that would have and this is why I kept on asking, and I wasn't trying to prompt you to do it, but I was
Yeah.
asking about the bright light.
Mhm.
And that was like, even when you first went in, if you remember, I was like, all right, how are you lighting the way?
Yep.
Because that was going to change the interaction of that space.
Yeah.
And you guys never used a bright light. You only used like the dancing lights or fire, like torches and that sort of thing. So I was like, all right, this dragon is not going to wake up from that. If it had woken up on its own accord and seen you, most likely, unless you pose an immediate threat, it was just going to like slide out, like leave the tunnel behind it, and come free, because that's what they do, right? Like that's, it's not going to destroy this is its home.
Yeah.
It's not going to be intentionally destructive. But because Koli basically tore the whole shit down around it, so that's why.
He's like, oh no, what's happening?
Yeah.
We're under attack.
Yeah, so that was like definitely a different situation, and I was trying to let things happen, and then
Yeah. I mean, Ward has
figure out, like,
no-
be open to whatever happens, and then just kind of going in that direction. Because honestly, I had no clue, like, how you guys were gonna do it, like, like either by hand with hammers or whatever, or spells, and what kind of spells were gonna work. And that's why I had Flux roll that damage. I was just like, it just wasn't enough. Like with between the attacks and the amount of damage, it's like you're not getting through solid ice, with that sort of thing. So yeah, it was.
I mean,
so
did
that
anybody
was fun.
even have any bright light option? Like I know obviously I did.
No,
I did.
Nova does.
Which
yeah.
I did tell to the group that I had
Yep.
I had light
You
that would
almost
provide
Yep.
bright light.
So
I also had an idea of if we did use the bright light so that we could actually see it, then I would have offered to do like Mind Sliver or something like that, which would have done psychic damage to it, and that probably would have woken it up.
Well, right.
Yeah. All you have to do is see it.
Right.
And it was sleeping. So
the other thing that could have happened that I had in my head was if you weren't going to use like a spell, like if you didn't have the spell, like punching a hole through the ice in the ceiling would have let in daylight, and that would have been like a comparable lighting situation. But those were really the only two things that I had in my head. You know, I was like, but whatever you guys come up with, you know, like I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, this is way cooler because it took care of our other problem as well.
Yeah.
Which was what we were trying to do anyway.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, I know Flux and Ward will be lamenting the loss of any sort of, like, Flux wants gold. Ward wants something that can fight, like a more magical weapon. I know, which I've addressed. So
we just buried
because he's thinking about the last time he fought an elemental and he was not doing very much damage and like things like that. Like he needs something to counteract that because he doesn't have that kind of stuff. So Flux and Ward will be crying themselves to sleep a little bit, even though they're like safe.
We'll go pillage. We got a whole city to pillage.
Yeah.
You know, if there's nobody there, then there's.
That's true. I'm sure it's just like a little empty. Everything's pristine, easy. Just go like a store. Everything's free.
Yeah.
You guys did make quick work of those Brotherhood of Nard soldiers. I gotta say, that was not going to be an easy fight.
I know.
Gone head to head. Like, that would have been.
I'll be interested to see how Chiron like what his. Because that's got to do a number to his, like, that's got to be, I would assume, like almost like a boost, right? Because to see them just wiped out like that without us even being hurt, like, I'll be interested to see how you sort of play that next time.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Because that's like a big thing, right? Because your whole thing is how powerful they are, and they are, but at the same time, we just get
away.
So at this point, we can actually get away, right? Because we put all those cards in the bag of holding, and now maybe they're not. We think,
right?
We need to find some place to probably like dispose of those or drop them off somewhere. Just
can we reckon I threw them into Skull.
Yeah,
should have. Right?
That's what I was thinking.
I wasn't close enough, but that would have been funny.
Cool.
And Skull just goes and murders like hundreds of people.
Torlock.
Just broke him out of a prison.
Yeah.
Isn't the sword in the bag of holding? Can they see the sword now?
Oh yeah.
No.
I mean,
she knows.
It's weird. I feel like.
I guess maybe she knows.
I mean, that's a stretch, right? Because the sword isn't in possession of the cards. It's just a location. It's just a beacon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it depends on how those cards work.
Oh.
I mean,
there was some
Flux,
line of sight magic that happened, right?
Flux, you know how familiars work.
Yeah, well, it's a familiar to, yeah.
But they'd still have to find that extra dimensional space too. So they'd be looking at an extra dimensional space.
Yeah.
What would be obvious is if I start getting in and out of it, then they could potentially, if it works like a regular familiar, like your familiar or whatever.
The extra dimensional space has an actual location in this dimensional space, I guess.
We need to get rid of those dang cards. That's what.
Yeah,
that's what it
We
is.
just got to get rid of them.
If we keep they're gonna come back and do something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So we gotta get.
Oh yeah.
So that's what it is.
Shit, this is cool.
All right. Well, awesome session, everyone. It was great seeing all of you as well.
That was cool.
Glad everybody could make it tonight. And we'll be back next week. Pick up where we left off.
Alrighty.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Have a good
All
one.
right.
Later, guys.
Have a great night, everyone.
Bye bye.